And we are live. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Ask Me Anything 176, the Ruggening. We've survived a temporary attack from Assad. And we just hope and pray to the big Yahoo to continue to protect us here on this lovely platform called YouTube.
I love Benjamin Netanyahu. All the hate being spread about my beautiful king is being led by uninformed goyim. Dear Netanyahu, I hope you know that I love you.
But clearly we're under attack. I mean, it wouldn't be a Ruggening stream without Charlie.
Hey, we're here, baby. Oh, yeah. I can't be stopped. That's right. It says I am Rubber Tone. No, yeah. I mean, the Ruggening has commenced, I guess, on a portion of things. But, I have a pretty strong inclination that we'll get things. Yeah. It's just like, what do you call it? A little rough seas, a little turbulence. It is what it is. This is what happens when you get bear sentiment in a bear market, right? Like, we can't see too much about it right now, except for that YouTube's community guidelines clearly were incorrect or not. It was just an excuse basically for the channel. And we're working on it. We'll get it. So
no, definitely. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of shocked myself because if I thought if any channel was going to get blown up first, it was going to be mine for sure.
Well, it is what it is, right? So it pretty much every time that we've ever had any, what do you call it, setbacks or anything like that, we've always come out better, stronger, all that type of thing. So long term, not really too worried about it. It's just going to make things a little bit interesting, I guess, over the next couple of weeks. I will be doing my normal YouTube streams, not on YouTube. I'll be doing them from Rumble starting on Tuesday. So in the Citadel, as well as the Current Crypto Mindset chat and some of the old chats, from previous courses, I'll be putting the link in there so you guys can check that out once we get it up and going. And we're still going to be putting content out. We're not going to stop that, of course, right? We want everybody to make some good money. Today, we'll take a look at some of the charts and where the buy-sell signals are and stuff like that. If you guys have been paying attention to my channel, well, you can't watch the replay anymore right now. Dang. But what do you call it? But you will, if you had been paying attention, remember kind of the things that I've been saying over the last, especially this week. I said this week we're mostly going down in Bitcoin's price. So some people are like, should I be DCAing? And I'm like, well, you can very lightly, but I would just recommend to wait until this weekend passes. And in terms of timing, I guess, it's still a while. I mean, I would say probably not until the end of next week. So like Thursday, Friday next week, the 28th, that's when we get to day 60 of the 60-day cycle. That's when I would expect the low for Bitcoin to start trying to form more aggressively. But for right now, pretty much Bitcoin is just sitting on the edge looking over and being like, I'm about to drop.
I mean, I got the curls in today. The yarmulke comes in tomorrow. I'm doing everything we can from the big Yahoo to stay safe.
We got the Moon Gang on our side. We got everybody saying, free Charlie and all that stuff. So I definitely appreciate all that. There's a lot of good sentiment in the chats of people who've been they're like, oh shit, they kind of realize the difference in quality of content on our channel compared to a lot of other crypto channels. So we're going to continue giving that to you guys no matter what. Even if we have to go full Alex Jones, we will do that.
We have made contingencies upon contingencies. But his channel got took down because of the sauce, man. There's just too much sauce. We're one of the few guys are actually saying what's really happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not pretty. I mean, I got a lot of like, I wouldn't call it feedback. I'd call it more like haterade from people I was talking about basically a lot of people's kind of like background or why some channels haven't come back to YouTube, or the channels are around right now. They're all concentrating in like cabals to shill certain coins because it's the only way they can make money right now in a bear market. When everything gets very big, these cabals still stay around, but they end up kind of decentralizing a little bit, and because they're all running their own different grift. But right now things are so bad that like the grifters have all united into one Power Ranger force.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you call it? I mean, being part of the red pill, we know a lot of people who've had their content stopped or slowed down or taken down, that kind of thing. But yeah, can't stop, won't stop. We ain't fucking leaving, right? That's absolutely the case. And yeah, exactly, right. It's going to be a good, what do you call it? I guess reason to decentralize a little bit more than we did otherwise, because it was, I think, kind of convenient not to, right? But naive to not to as well. But I mean, I've kept the content on my channel is pretty fucking clean.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I might swear here and there, a good chunk or something like that, but generally speaking, I think I'm kept it pretty fucking clean.
Yeah, right.
The only thing that kind of was weird to me, because like right now I can't even sign into YouTube, right? I have alternate accounts, of course, that for personal watching and stuff, but like when it comes to like YouTube related to Cultivate Crypto, obviously I can't sign into anything. And because I haven't watched YouTube ads in fucking ages, all of a sudden when I was watching the beginning of your stream, there was this ad for this lady named Nicole Canizaro, who's going in for the attorney general. I think she's running for attorney general in Nevada here or something.
Oh, okay.
She's on the Dem side, and anti-crypto was basically the message in her ad.
She's anti-crypto?
So I'm like, if they're a politician, local politician towards our area, paying, because I did say, I didn't, what do you call it? I mean, I don't think it's because of this, but it's just interesting to kind of, I didn't notice this before, right? But there was one lady from Nevada on the Senate with, I forgot her name, but with Elizabeth Warren with the Clarity Act, basically talking shit. And there was like 5 or 6 people that I read out their names on a tweet or whatever. And I'm like, interesting. YouTube's getting paid by a lady who's anti-crypto, who's running for attorney general of the state that actually, I would say, Nevada, when it comes to money, taxes, stuff like that, traditionally has been the most kind of open state with that, like, hey, live and let live.
Yeah.
You're free to do what you want with your own shit, that kind of stuff. So just seems kind of odd to me that that's there. And I mean, that's just a slight conflict of interest when it comes to, I don't know what YouTube's getting paid for and stuff like that. But again, that's like not connected. But it's, something that's interesting of note. But
yeah, I could sort of see like how she or maybe some of the people that represent her could be a little bit like pissed off about crypto because there was a bunch of weird. I mean, honestly, like, what did they expect? So they held a giant hacking convention at the casinos, like at the convention centers and stuff. So they had a big hackathon,
right?
Not the crypto hackathon. I'm talking about a hacker.
Yeah, like an actual cybersecurity,
right? And then you ended up having both MGM and Caesars held for ransom twice, I believe.
Yeah,
and I think Caesars paid actually.
Yeah, no, they had to pretty much.
Yeah, they had. So I was like, yeah. But I don't know what that has to do with crypto because that was obviously much more like obviously.
Yeah, I didn't even get a good look at the ad, which is why I was trying to look up like some of her stuff just now. Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like some guy who made money in crypto basically gave her $2.5 million to run for attorney general, and then she opposed some of his plans for blockchain related stuff to the state or something like that. So
dang.
God only knows. It says she opposed his plan for a blockchain city. Now he's bankrolling her primary opponent. Interesting.
I mean, bite the head that feeds, but
well, I mean, he's bankrolling her primary opponent, which means she's going to get even more pissed at crypto.
Yeah,
and that's why she's doing anti-crypto ads. I'm like, your personal bullshit between you and somebody who gave you, like, to be honest, $2.5 million for a politician is fucking nothing.
Yeah. But in these local ones, that is
for local ones, it's a lot.
It's a lot more money. Yeah,
but like at the same time, I'm just like, you're going to put an entire industry in the crosshairs because you can't control your emotions when it comes to somebody who's working with you. Like, it has nothing to do with the industry. Like, if she's like, oh, I just don't like blockchain or crypto in general, so okay, I'm not going to promote his city thing. Like, I understand that, but to get pissed off basically at what do you call it? The whole industry because of something some other guy, like, it just makes it's how we know they operate.
I need a button that says women.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
They've done a okay. I probably don't clip this, but like I think they've done studies before on like going throughout history of like female leaders, and they've substantially gone to war way more than men.
Mm-hmm.
But also there's much less of them as well, so it can be skewed obviously. But interesting.
Rubber Toe there says it's all the liberal Californians coming into Vegas. I mean, that's definitely
no. That's a big thing. That's absolutely, and they came from LA. Like you saw it in the years because I've lived here since 21, and I started noticing stuff maybe in the last year. Really, like they're saying keep California, keep Nevada anti-Californian, right? But there really wasn't much that I saw. It was really after the fire that happened, in LA, basically, where that we had a lot of people kind of come over and stuff like just because it's like the rat nest fucking blew up, so they had to find somewhere else to live, and there wasn't much housing that was rebuilt in that area. So they're like, what's the next closest city? It's Vegas, really. Mm-hmm. Taxes are good here.
Yep. Well, so I'll read the beginning of this article too. It's interesting, right? So 5 years ago, the Nevada State Senator helped kill the crypto tycoon's vision of a blockchain city in the Reno desert. Now that lawmaker is running for higher office and the crypto mogul is bankrolling her primary opponent to the tune of millions of dollars. The battle is playing out in the state attorney general's race is one example of many crypto sectors trying to elect industry-friendly officials. I think that's how politics works.
I mean, everything ever since they made that, a corporation is an individual.
Right. Hey, shout out Mitt Romney, I guess, right?
Yeah, shout out Romney, man. Shout out the Mormons in Mexico. Very heavily armed Mormons in Mexico, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So I'll read the next two paragraphs here. So the battle, what do you call it? They're trying to elect industry-friendly officials, right? In Nevada. It's also a story of an eccentric, Miguel.
Eccentric.
I wonder if this article is leaning towards the politician at all.
Huh.
Eccentric multimillionaire whose money threatens the political ascent of a woman who helped deny his
Shut
dream.
up. No, they did not write that.
Yeah, I changed the intonation maybe, but
okay.
but the way it says is I wonder if they're trying to play an angle here, right?
It's her turn, Charlie.
Oh man, this is why Elizabeth Warren is so awesome because she's got something between her legs other people don't that are in that office. It's like, who gives a fuck, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, we want the best people to do the best job for the constituents. Like, that's all it is. And so, like, maybe she is. I don't know anything about her. I'm not really against her at all. I'm just like literally reading out the public article here of like, why would she basically go after an entire industry just because somebody who made their money that way? It's like basically saying, hey, there's an oil tycoon trying to stop my campaign. So I'm going to go try to stop the oil industry and make laws against it, where it's like, well, it's that one person. It's not like it makes that's anyways, it's stupid. But anyways, so whose money threatens the political ascent of a woman who helped deny his dream. The spending by crypto entrepreneur Jeffrey Burns, I'd like to meet him, is meaningful money, especially at this early stage of the primary, said Kenneth Miller, an assistant professor of political science at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And we don't know if this only represents an initial investment and would be followed up by more. I'm guessing that's probably not going away. But yeah, stupid.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Maybe, maybe not. But, you know, when YouTube takes money from some people, they, you know, sometimes promote their interests.
No, absolutely. But, you know, well, I mean, there's so many ways to go and stuff like that. But
yeah.
No, thank you, Kyle. There's just so many ways to go here, but obviously, like
cigars is one way to go. That's for sure.
So, if you guys remember, a couple streams ago, I said, "Hey, we're heading green. Things are looking good. Lighten the DCA by 50% into coins.
Right?
Okay. Increase that same amount of money that you've taken off. Let's just say if you're doing, if you can do $500 a month, or let's say $1,000 a month, you're doing $500 into coins." $500 into stables. I said lower it to $250 and $750 into stables. Build up that dry powder, because like everything, right? As much as CT and the rest of these kind of clowns or tried to like pump stuff up, right? If BTC goes down, I don't even care if it's Zcash. Zcash will go down. Monero will go down in price, not like the network, but Hype, Tau, VVVV. Any hype coin that people are talking about right now, BTC starts going down low enough, it goes away.
Yep.
I mean, and that's just what happens. This is one of the first things me and Charlie teach in the Crypto Mindset course is BTC and Ethereum are the thermostats. Yesterday, there was a concerted effort and attack against Ethereum.
Yeah, I know, man.
Massive.
All the bankless stuff is crazy, bro.
Dude, and I actually know what, did I mention this on I think on your previous show, right?
Well, yeah, definitely not yesterday.
Well, it must have been Moon Gang, right? It probably was Moon Gang. Yeah, so I mentioned it slightly on there, and then I just been noting every person that attacked Ethereum.
Oh, they let you watch the ad along with the show. That's kind of
what? Really?
They split it half screen. I didn't know they did that. I'm learning things about YouTube.
Me too. I don't even know. I've been a long-term, YouTube partner and affiliate and stuff like. I pay for YouTube Red. Vote for me.
I love Benjamin Netanyahu. All the hate being spread about my beautiful king is being led by uninformed goyim. Dear Netanyahu, I hope you know that I love you.
I don't understand. They stole 21 cars. What the fuck does that mean?
The cars for kids now.
Oh wait, well, they're having a hell of a time explaining that one to people. The cars for kids stuff is crazy. That is straight up lies, bro.
Yeah, it's been a known scam.
Who donates cars anyway? That's insane.
Yeah, because it's for the kids, Miguel. That's why they guilt trip your ass.
I love the kids they choose.
Rocket, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely chose certain type of kids to pull on certain heartstrings.
Yeah.
Anyway, shame on those motherfuckers. But sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, sometimes, when you watch the news, when you look at social media, you see all the bullshit that's just going on in the world.
Right.
It's like, it is what it is. But we got the Moon Gang, baby. So the Moon Gang, the few, the proud, the Moon Gang, right, is one thing that we can always lean on in times of hardship, I guess you could say. But we're going to make everybody a lot of money here in this dip, because I think, I'll let you go to the subject you wanted to go to, but
sure.
Remember, I was talking about this on my stream the other day, right? When I was saying, giving the bull case for, we already have the low in for the 4-year cycle, not in terms of the cycle low exactly, but for the penultimate, like nadir absolute bottom, of 59,000 and some change. If that happens and we hold above 65 to 80K, we hold within that range basically. I'll give a scenario here, right? Let's say we hit 72,000 on this dip here, May 28th to June 3rd or 4th, something like that, right? Somewhere within that 1 week period, we hit around $72,000 Bitcoin. Cool, right? If we get some positive stuff in the middle of June and we move up through June, basically, we close the month green, then that basically leads to a right translated 60-day cycle. We maybe hit 90K. That's a scenario you need then to basically, when you crash, hold within that range.
Yeah.
And if that happens, like maybe the second low is 65,000 or 66,000. And so we go below 72K one more time. Right. Or maybe stay there for a little bit of time. Right. Or maybe it's 75K is the low.
Yeah.
The next low that we get in, let's say, September, October. Right. And then, how many more times are we going to get the ability to buy under 75,000? I think is going to be if we get a good move in June is going to be a definite debate for the second half of the year.
Yeah.
That being said, if we get a June that ends red, we get a left translated cycle, it makes it easier to drop to those lower prices that most people are expecting. Timeline would still fill in between October or September to November. So if I think June is our pivot month. I've been saying that all week on the channel, but now there's no recording of it, so I have to say it again. So I just wanted to put that out there for kind of that pivot point in case. But once we get into July, we're pretty much going to have a very clear vision, in my opinion, of what is most likely to happen in terms of price targets and stuff for the second half of the year. And that's when we can have everybody really turn on the jets with their DCAs, because it's like, okay, things are a lot more clear with the data being in, and a lot more. I think at that point we'll have like 30-40% of the bear market left. Like we're probably about 30%. Yeah, we'll probably be mostly through it. So good time to pay attention. So we ain't leaving. We're gonna continue giving you guys a sauce. Everybody in the Citadel and the course still gets the DC algo. So
absolutely, and we just did that webinar as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was that was a great webinar. Yeah. Everybody had a good one,
and it still exists.
It does.
So also, I wanted to announce that so Charlie will be streaming from Rumble as well as So will I. So we'll be both having Rumble channels.
And for whatever reason, YouTube didn't. The StreamYard and YouTube didn't allow me to stream to Twitter, so I'll try to figure that out too.
Okay,
so
I'll help you. I'll try to help
Twitter
you.
and Rumble at the same time, but yeah.
Are you guys keeping the meetup date? The meetup? Oh, the crypto mindset meetup. So yeah, we've already emailed. Check your emails, you guys. We've already emailed all the VIPs, as well as we mostly had VIP sales versus the regular general admission. But yeah, we have changed the dates. We said this during a call on the Citadel, but we're gonna have a webinar later on with, or maybe some sort of short call with all the guys from the event. We're basically deciding between two different months.
And we're going to give people some options basically.
Yeah, because we had a lot of people that joined previously that says they would go if it was just a little bit later.
Yeah,
and we're like, for us, it's just important that we just do it once a year, like one time a year. The time doesn't really matter to us too much, as long as everyone's having a good time and everything like that.
Yep.
And so we'll make sure and give you guys like a heads up on that, obviously, and stuff. But I wanted to share something. So this is actually something that I talked about quite a lot in this current CMC about even Tom Lee's starting to say some interesting little things here. Paul Tudor Jones using the same setup to call the 1999 top. SpaceX, OpenAI, and Anthropic IPOs could total $4 trillion. Who the hell said that?
Yep. Well, right now, what I was going to talk about in my last stream was SpaceX is going to be the guesstimate of valuation is $1.75 to $2 trillion just for SpaceX. And the next biggest IPO before that was Saudi Aramco and Alibaba at 25 billion.
Yes. So
almost 8 times less.
Yeah. Saudi Aramco was basically the big. I mean, these are going to be the biggest IPOs, but like a Saudi Aramco was worth a lot. And the crazy thing about that, if I remember, this is like a while ago, but it was only 1% of the actual value of the company that went public.
Probably, yeah.
And it was just to base. And if I remember the timeline correctly, that was you remember the oil shock that happened when oil went to zero?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that happened. I could be wrong on this, but I believe it happened right before that. and it basically showed that they had an unlimited amount of oil. Because it was the first time they ever opened up the actual Saudi Aramco ever, the books ever opened and said, this is 1%. They had to disclose how much oil. It was like, we have globs. It ain't ending.
Yeah.
And it caused like oil prices to start sharply going down. And then with the whole COVID thing where everyone's also stopped like basically driving, zero. Actually, they paid you to take oil. I think at one point I remember they paid you $28 per barrel to take delivery. But you have to be able to handle delivery, right? Yeah. So it's quite a lot.
I was gonna keep it in the garage, Miguel.
I mean,
I got my own refinery.
Yeah, but I got my own refinery. I know, right? The only shitty thing about gasoline, diesel lasts a little longer, but like it really only lasts about 6 months before it goes stale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, now you can't. There's like additives you can add to like long-term storage, but even long-term, it's like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's not not the best and stuff like that. Maybe the leaded stuff, but I know it's unleaded now. But maybe the leaded maybe kept it around longer, but it was really bad for you and stuff because not good basically. Crypto Bros moving to Rumble. We'll still be on YouTube as long as we're on here, of course. But we'll dual cast over to Rumble, and then I mean. If it just goes like that, we'll be on Rumble. I mean, shit. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of options.
There's lots of options.
I'll just keep it at that for now.
Yeah.
Once the one thing is like sometimes when you have a lot of irons in the fire, right? It's not useful to talk about it publicly until it's already done. So once that happens, I'll mention it. But we'll keep it close to the vest on that.
So share the screen, Kyle. So that's about 5 to 7% of the entire S&P in new supply hitting the market in terms of the shares. So let's hear what the old Tom Lee, master of Ethereum.
I wonder what happens with extra supply.
Paul Tudor Jones was on a podcast recently where he said he knew the top was so easy to see in 99 because he knew there were all these IPOs out there that raised a ton of money. But then the lockups were actually also expiring, which happens, I think it's 90 days. So when SpaceX does its IPO, and it'll be one of the most anticipated IPOs in history and raise a huge amount of money, in 90 days, 2 trillion of SpaceX stock becomes freely tradable. And so you can imagine there's a lot of seed investors that are going to take actions to hedge their holdings. I think they said the stat I saw was like 160 people in Austin, Texas, for instance, are going to make more than $100 million. People in Austin, Texas, for instance, 160 people in Austin, Texas, for instance, are going to make more than $100 million. Ooh. Superficially, I would say the size of the IPOs coming, SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, and then the supply release 90 days later is something that we have to mechanically think about how the market absorbs all that, because that's a lot of supply. I mean,
it's not going to.
Yeah.
We've been telling people do not buy any of these. If you want to buy them later, like a year out or something like that after the initial, usually most IPOs, if you're lucky, there's a slight bump and then they normally correct 50%.
Yeah. Binance and Hyperliquid are allowing you to do pre-IPO perps, Miguel. There's no way you can lose.
It's almost like I've heard this story before. But it's crazy to hear like the Paul Tudor Jones kind of, obviously he's just taking a podcast mentioning something that happened in 1999, but it's interesting starting to hear like
repeats.
Absolutely. If it doesn't repeat, it rhymes a lot.
Yep.
But man, I was calling this one for a while, dude. I mean, we called it in the course as well, but I've been calling it even previously in the YouTube on the entire run up to the course. Is one thing I was like, dude, these IPOs, that's a lot of fucking money. And as well as like, it's so much cash. A lot. Like imagine, like as an example, like there's somebody on Twitter, this hedge fund guy he wasn't showing off, but more or less talking. I mean, he was actually being really honest. He was like, hey, look, like, I can't believe he was saying this. He's like, I got into SpaceX at a $30 billion valuation. Woo! If I was retail, I would wait until after it corrects. He was saying that.
Wow.
Because you have to understand that 30 billion, it comes, even if it's $1 trillion, it's probably gonna be 2 trillion, right?
Mhm.
$2 trillion. How many? Let's do the math, right?
And what do you call it? All the shares, well, not all the shares, but a large amount of the shares stay locked for the first 90 days.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Look at that devilish number.
Ooh, yeah.
So that guy, whatever he invested, he's up 66.666666666666667. Times on his investment.
They did that on purpose.
Dude, it's insane. Look, I will say this: I've done a lot of on-screen math here and like calculator math and stuff. It is like 10 or 15% of the results always comes out to a bunch of sixes and repeating. It's fucking crazy.
It's 2/3.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But it's just so funny. I was like, oh, what the fuck? That's devilish. All the time it happens. But there's people trying to talk about this and stuff like that. And it's just kind of no way to like they're crazy not to take some profit on it as well. Because like even like I long term, I have faith in like SpaceX. And OpenAI and Anthropic, it could go either way. But like SpaceX
is already solidified.
It's solidified. They're getting $1.2 billion a month from Anthropic just for using their hardware, or their throughput power for AI for their models. And that's good until 2028. So they're getting that's some cheddar, man. Was it $14 billion a year in revenue coming in?
I don't mind it. Tether makes about the same.
Yes, sir. But
what's more complicated, Tether or space, or like what do you call it? Catching rockets with chopsticks coming down from space. Oh, I wonder.
But eventually, like if we were like to go like 30 years in the future, right? Maybe asteroid mining is possible. Possibly, Blue Origin is one of the only other competitors that'll do it. And that's Amazon basically, or and then it's just Blue Origin and SpaceX. That's the only two entities.
The only real question will be: is Ben Affleck going to be alive at that time so that he can be involved?
Oh my God! What's the guy from Larry David's going to be like? That'll never catch on. But but like 30 years from now, it's possible to happen right now. But like, so the revenue possibility is there eventually because like just the things you'll be able to and the resources they can get from space. But in terms of like their next plan, their plans are basically to build like basic data centers in space that are powered because they're out there. They'll be able to generate much more. It'll be solar energy they're essentially extracting out, but because they're in space and in a more open area, like the energy they'll produce will maybe possibly be able to power it. Actually,
they definitely won't need any cooling systems.
No, exactly. Well, actually might.
Well, I mean, all they'll need to do is have shielding, so that they basically get blocked from radiation, right? And then once they have that blocked, because like that's not too hard to block. They already do it with the space station and everything, right? Then once they have that insulation, I mean, space has a lot of cold air. Well, not air, but like a lot of it's not very warm.
It's not very warm, but it gets very, very, very hot.
Yeah, well, you have the two extremes.
The two extremes and stuff like that.
In the sun, not in the sun.
So let's go back. Pull it up, Kyle.
Tropic. And then the supply release 90 days later is something that we have to mechanically think about how the market absorbs all that, because that's a lot of supply. I mean, let's say it's collectively 4 trillion. It's like 5, 6, 7% of the S&P 500. It's meaningful numbers of additional liquidity. But the one reason I'd say maybe it's not as bearish as it looks is that public stock allocations by high net worth individuals is at near record lows. Whether you look at family offices or pensions, they've all allocated into alternatives. This is guessing, but in the last 10 years, for every dollar that went into public markets, $9 probably went into alternatives. So there is probably more money that is under allocated to public stocks. And so I think that these IPOs, along with how well memory and AI stocks, a lot of the AI supply chain is publicly listed in Asia or US, is going to...
I'm going to stop right here, Tom. Shut up. Now, no, but Rumble Meagle's going to be crazy, bros. but Tom is right for the most part, but I think I'm not saying it's over for AI, right? There is very, very large corporations, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, that have the bankroll, that have any of these AI infrastructure companies, blockchains, anything, supply chains, any chain, 2 chains, it doesn't matter what chain, they'll buy it, secure it, and then keep it moving, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, when this does happen, that's probably what's going to make the low. I've been saying this for a while. It could happen if I were to give the most likely answer of like an FA reason for like an actual low, is it's caused by this. That'll, because it's like, what's left for But there's really, like I've said, we've seen this for this a while. Like, what else is there for Bitcoin to crash to? I mean, like, really, like, what more bad news could there be? Like, what else?
Larry Fink changes his mind.
Like,
says, hey, we're gonna unwind all $56 billion that we have in our Bitcoin spot ETF. Not happening, right?
Not happening. It'd be crazy. I mean, Harvard just sold all their Ethereum and Solana, Charlie.
Well, who are they getting as advisors? The bankless? Or we should change it from bankless to Ethereumless.
Ethereumless. I mean, just less. Just call them less.
Yeah, that, right?
Bagless. Bagless.
I like that one. Or
Bagless.
Or ethless.
Ethless. Gasless.
Well, so what happened with I know there's, I think Sean or Ryan or who, I don't even know their names, to be honest. But there's the guy with glasses, and then there's this guy not with glasses.
Not with glasses. That's the
right.
Guy.
The guy with glasses, he said he's staying on.
Yes.
And he kept his ETH.
Yeah.
So like, actually, he's not weak hands.
He's not weak hands. I mean, but the guy
surprising. I thought if I was thought one of the two was going to defect, I thought it would have been that guy. To be honest, because the other guys, I think they're both good interviewers. Like, they ask good questions and stuff. But yeah, man, that's kind of crazy.
So you can share the screen, Kyle. So basically, this guy here at the bottom has essentially, well, they've always called, like, they're in their community, they've always called him a little bit much more of a shitcoiner or a multi-coiner.
Yeah, I think he's been open to the whole crypto space generally.
Correct. And
the other guy's more of a maxi. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, like, that's just crazy though, to go from being somewhat coin agnostic to being like, I'm gonna sell all my ETH, like, basically towards the bottom. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, maybe sell it for a trade and then buy it back lower. Sure. Okay. I get that if you're going to do that. But if you're just going to sell it and say, I'm going full Solana or whatever it is, like, you're just a paid shill. That's all you are. You're nothing more. You're nothing less. You have good opinions for some things. You know your shit a little bit because you've been in the industry a while. But at the end of the day, if you are only talking based on who is giving you the most coins, the Ethereum Foundation didn't give me enough Ethereum, Solana is going to give me more, so I'm going to go over there, would be my guess, not allegedly, right? Would be my guess of how some of that thought process went. And I would say this is why the incentives for most YouTubers are not aligned to their audience, which we're one of the very few YouTube channels where that does exist, because we give you guys, we shill our own products and services, right?
Right.
We give you guys value. We have to give you value because we answer to the Moon Gang, basically, right? Whereas these guys, look at that screen. Who do they answer to? Oh, I wonder. Maybe OKX, right? Yeah. Where do those QR codes go? I don't know. I don't really care to find out. But, you know, if he's like, I'm going to sell my Ethereum because he's pissed off at the foundation for not greasing his palms enough or giving enough chance on shitcoins to make more Ethereum or whatever it is, I don't know. But, man, like, when I see all these people quitting the ETH Foundation saying, I'm going to go work on this project, that project, sure, if you want to, you know, shift your career and you've been working there for a while already, cool. But if you just got there and you're like, I'm leaving,
right?
I'm like, that's some weekend shit.
Now, we also know a little bit of inside baseball, a little bit of what's going on in the foundation. These recent things, like CT's asking, why have so many people recently left the Ethereum Foundation? Did they leave or they got fired and they just had a way to, like,
yeah, if they're like, we have to let you guys go, but we're going to do so in a good PR way or whatever, and like everybody accepts like severance packages or whatever, like, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. But a portion of this is, in a way, like, Vitalik started cleaning up house last year.
True.
He did start cleaning up because it was getting ridiculous.
Watch him in the background's like stalling with an iron fist.
Yeah. He's like, This chain has to go higher. So it seems the higher the Ethereum price, the hotter the Asian girl. So I must persist.
Hey, it did seem like he might have got a new girlfriend.
I mean, shit. Not terrible taste. Not terrible.
No, she was good. She was good looking. Yeah.
There's always these weird pictures. Remember that fucking weird ass picture of Vitalik on the side with like he was half hard?
Half. Damn, that's half.
Well, happening. But let's play this video. Let's see what they say. It's only 19 seconds, but let's see what.
First time we've had a bankless podcast, and you are no longer holding Ether. So
that's right.
From bankless to ethless, David.
Ethless.
What? Why? What changed your mind? What happened here? This is the first time we've had a bank.
Wow, that wasn't even a full clip. What the fuck?
Podcast, and you are no longer
EXO. Jesus
holding
Christ.
Ether. So
that's right.
From bankless to ethless, David.
Ethless.
Coinbase
That's
won.
funny.
Yeah,
That was good.
that was good. You can take it down, Kyle. But let me see if I got any more here. Oh, so okay, so yeah. So pull this up. So shout out to Nick O'Neill and stuff like that. But yeah, he's been going through. He just started chemo and stuff like that.
Bro, that's brutal. Like,
Yeah.
I hope he gets through it well, and I know it's probably not going to be a fun time, but I think he can beat it. So he's a young guy. He can still get through it and everything. But
I'm very confident he'll make it through.
yeah.
Very confident.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. He's funny, man. He's made some really funny videos.
The thing I love about his stuff, because some of it is meant to be cringe-inducing,
Of course, on purpose.
on purpose.
Yeah.
But I think some people, excuse me, some people don't get his jokes sometimes. But like, in terms of like outside of crypto, but like if you see him, the ones where he like walks into the Starbucks and he's like, "Hey, everybody,
Yeah.
stop what you're doing. Like, I need some money." But
Play,
like, I forgot.
play the sold. Play the sold.
All sold. Oh man! Woo! Yeah, I mean, I like how he leans into the character.
Yeah.
It's good, but so method acting, maybe. But like, what do you call it? Just in terms of when he goes in and does those things in public, kind of like does a spoof, but like goes into a real situation, everybody's just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
That shit's hilarious.
Absolute. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, but
Somebody asked what day on the 60-day cycle we're on. We are on day 54 of the 60-day cycle. Well, sorry, no, we just went on to day 55 of the 60-day cycle. That gives us 5 to 10 days basically to find a low. And we just started pushing the Bollinger Bands down. So we'll see it based on the Bollinger Bands. We'll see how aggressive it gets. I'll show the chart here maybe a little bit later. But
right.
Just
play that art one, Kyle, the most recent art one comment and stuff. So he says Ivan on Tech trashes on Pulse Chain and Ethereum, but shills Polkadot because they pay for the. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, at least he's honest about it, right? Like that's the difference, I guess. If you are sponsored on your channel, okay, I don't hate it necessarily. If you're a NASCAR brand, and you just have like everything plastered on your channel, like I guess that's a different thing. But like, getting a few sponsorships not bad. But be honest about it. If you're like, hey, I'm getting sponsored by this. This is why I'm talking about it. Like as long as you're upfront, that should be fine. But when you don't give any of your own opinion at all, or you can't even, you're so toothless that you can't even, give constructive criticism to the projects that you're working with, then what's the point, right? I think most people in crypto just, one, we've talked about this before. There's this kind of socialist communistic bent that a lot of crypto people had in 2017, where it's like everything should be free and fair and open source and right? And it's like, well, no, if you create a business, right? Businesses exist to make profit, and you can do that in a positive way. But most people in crypto, they just know how to sell out to the highest bidder, not say what they actually think for the most part. I'm not saying this is Ivan, but because I do like Ivan's channel, but and he gives really good information sometimes. But yeah, there's going to be, like for us, like we literally have zero affiliation with any coins that exist. We obviously like Aerodrome. We know the co-founder on a personal level, so that's cool. But like when he comes on the channel, it's just like, hey, bro, come on, let's have a good time. Let's talk about your project. It's pretty cool. You know, if I knew another person who did a shitty meme coin that was just like totally extraction pumping up, I wouldn't have them on the channel. I wouldn't talk about it. Right. So that's kind of the one luxury that we have, but it is also does not hurt us, but it basically slows down some of what we do. I think that'll change in the future. But it's kind of like, what do you call it? The tortoise and the hare type strategies. A lot of crypto channels try to do the run fast strategy and then basically leave within a cycle or two. So yeah,
either burning bridges or just doing so much like dubious stuff just to make themselves profitable because they're just trying. I sort of understand. I don't understand it, and I understand at the same time because like they're trying to get out of their regular life. Because I understand even though if they've got like a shitty dead end job, like no shit, like you understand, but still like we had somebody when
you do things the right way though, you can provide value to people, and you can do it for a very long time, right? But most people don't want to put in the work; they're lazy. So
yeah, absolutely. Frankly, like Pulse Chain had a NASCAR. Yes, Pulse Chain also had a boxing fight as well.
Yeah,
that I helped sponsor. We sponsored actually.
Yeah, funny. R.I.P. Kyle Busch, man, that's crazy. Like we saw that on the TV last night when we were at the casino. We were just like, holy shit, he was like 41.
Pretty young,
and like he just went. I think he just went to the hospital within the last day or two, and they were like, "Oh, he's not going to race this weekend." And all of a sudden, he freaking died. I'm like, damn, that sucks, man. Like that's rough, but yeah, RIP there.
No, definitely. Put up the Kenro super, or actually read the super chats real quick before I head on because like.
Yeah, I got you. We got Ken Rose with the $2 super chat.
Thank you, brother.
And we got Luis with $1.99 saying, "Is there?"
We just mentioned that. Yeah. That's going to go out very soon. Yep.
Then we got Ken Rose with the $5 super chat saying, "Regarding to the CoffeeZilla versus Walton debate mentioned on the last stream, it would have been a tad smoother if they had a moderator."
I would have loved to moderate that because it was insane. It was like I was in Jurassic Park and I was like, I brought you guys here to side with me, and I'm over here agreeing with the blood-sucking lawyer. Like I was agreeing a lot. Like in the beginning, I was going more Walton, and then it just like by the end of it, I was like 2/3 in or like 1/3 in. I was completely going on CoffeeZilla side. Now I was also saying like Jeff Walton was making good things, but he was really good at like manipulating jujitsuing away. And I think the main thing, and I think the main thing that got CoffeeZilla offsides was that this is one of the first times he's interviewed somebody on the channel that he didn't have moral high ground on. Sure, he said you're like, but it's because for one, right? He's a fund manager, pretty well off, has a pretty successful business. Got the quarter zip, got the discipline, got the glasses. He had the whole look very waspy, right? He was more of a UK waspy guy, while like CoffeeZilla. I know, I'm just guessing.
Oh,
but I'm just going off of like the look, right? He's going for more from a tech bro waspy look.
He's trying to look a little bit like
the Oxford.
And CoffeeZilla looked more like a potato eating famine, like Irishman, right? I mean, that's what he looked like. Not famished, but you know what I'm saying. But like that's kind of literally was like this UK British, obviously I don't know if he's British or not, wasp guy berating this fucking Irish dude. But all jokes aside, what is crazy about it is that like normally when he has guests on, right? Mm-hmm. And if it's actually besides a guest that's giving them his scoop on stuff, let's just say it's like an actual guest he's having like an actual argument with. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, he has the moral high ground on them to say, "But you're a fucking scammer. Where's the fucking money? Why did you do this? What happened? How did the project?" He had none of that.
Yeah, no. And
then because he didn't have that moral high ground, and this is the problem with a lot of these holding them down motherfuckers.
Which there are a lot of.
There's a lot of them, right? Like, and
that event, that's like a, what do you call it? You're just asking to get the legs kicked out from underneath you if you take that angle, because people see through that shit.
I do see that he's doing good. And I'm not saying he's not doing good.
Who?
But CoffeeZilla. He has done
some good. But like when it comes to crypto, he's pretty much gone after the easiest fucking bait. Like he's never actually looked at the industry from a critical like okay, I'm going to take both sides. I'm going to be open to basically understanding both sides of the argument. He's like, I think he gets paid by somebody to shit talk crypto personally because just there's some of his takes that he says about Bitcoin and what's happening with it that just are like, it's just for how smart he is, it's too dumb.
Right.
Or it's just willfully ignorant. One of the two.
Now, with him, right? So what's happening? So what's also happening too is like he's finding somebody on fair grounds. He has no moral high ground. The thing he's trying to shit on him for hasn't done anything terrible. It basically cannot go to zero because they only have $10 million of debt. They only have $10 million of debt. They have $1.2 billion in assets. Even BTC that's gone down now, like, oh, now they're worth 1.1. They still have 10 million. And I kind of called it out. What Jeff's doing is he is piggybacking off of the news of like he's making a viral. He's basically making this company go viral, but off the shares. But at most he might like depends on the greed part of it. Because the one thing he didn't concede was like, there's no way we go to zero. No, but like Coffee was actually trying to make this point, but he kept getting sidelined by him. Is that you're right? Currently.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed, but hey, I mean, if it's lasted this long,
right?
I think we can make pretty good educated guesses that it's probably going to stick around,
right? But like, he's only made $10 million of shares at $100 each, right? He's only made $10 million of shares. They can pay the dividend, and there's never going to be a problem. Will it stay like that?
Well, I mean,
how much are they going to grow it as a bull run?
That's the main thing. How much do they leverage
And he was not
themselves?
trying to concede that.
Right.
Because he was like, no, off our metrics, Monte Carlo simulations, 7 models. Okay, we're on one Monte Carlo simulation. I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
We basically can leverage this shit into 1,000x perpetually into the future. Yeah.
The problem, and this is what I said on the stream. Okay. I don't think this can happen. Actually, it could maybe. So it just depends. Because Sailor, if you understand Sailor is max. Play the Sailor meme, Kyle. I mean, literally, like Sailor. Like, you think this guy won't go degenerate with it? Like, look at
asset. Well, Bitcoin is the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right. There's no second best. Okay. But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth.
And this guy has been known to he'll buy tops. He'll buy green candles.
Yeah,
as soon as he gets the cash, he'll go. He'll like, fuck it, spot, boom, 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 boom. He'll buy.
The power Stretch
of the
dollar cost average.
Stretch is only going to stretch that. Well, I'm not gonna say what, but until imaginations, right? But it's going to keep going and going and going. So even if he stays safe, right? I think I did the math right. So so his shares, which are at $100, pays 13% dividend. It has Stretch inside of it, which pays 11.5% dividend. So his obligation is really only 1.5% of a dividend, while the Stretch shares pay the rest. Now, the math could be off. If it's possible he may only have 50% of the shares backed by Stretch and the rest is him. But let's just assume that all the shares are just equally backed by an equal amount of Stretch. Right. So if Stretch were to stop paying his dividend, his
which they have the legal right to
both
do.
of them do.
Yeah.
Both of them do. They both also, if they go under, they don't have to put the dividend back. They have to pay you back. The price at 100, the price can go from let's call it $99 to 101.
Mm-hmm.
It's never gone that high, but it can fluctuate a little bit, up and down, up and down, up and down, which is fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they find out the dividend's not coming, or the bear market, or a large player starts selling it, it could easily go to 40 cents on the dollar.
Mm.
And he was trying his best to wiggle out of that. It was absolutely true. It actually says, and the SEC, there was the one good line, really good line that CoffeeZilla had in there was it's in your SEC disclosure. And you can see he's like,
yeah, that's actually where, because
he had him on that.
Yeah,
he was like, yes, you disclosed this.
If CoffeeZilla really wants to pin him down, basically it's like kind of getting somebody on a jury stand and basically putting them into a certain line of questioning that they can't lie blatantly publicly. They can ignore facts, but they can't, bald-faced lie. And so, yeah, if he says anything from what they already disclosed and he points that out, the guy doesn't have to. He can plead the fifth, but like he basically puts him in a pickle where he can't really say too much.
Yeah. No,
or at least if he did, he'd shoot himself.
Because he was trying to make sure, like, he was like, this thing can never go down. Like, that's what he's trying. He's trying to put this coin. It's like a crypto guy. He's like, crypto's only goes. My crypto only goes up. It'll stay. He'll always pay. Like, if you look at the models, they're confusing with them. He kept saying math, and it kept reminding me of Kareem. I started having Vietnam flashbacks. Mm-hmm. But like the math. Like, dog, stop, bro, stop. Mm-hmm. Yes, but like the model's correct. The model is correct only if it stays at the current size. Mm-hmm. Now, even if Sailor were like, let's just say they say the 10 million and it goes under, they'd be fine. But if where do they stop? Are they going to increase to 50 million before the bull market's over? Are they going to go to 100 million? Because what happens is they have $1.2 billion in actual assets, which is mostly Bitcoin, I'd imagine. So if Bitcoin goes up to 140, which is 100% possible in the bull run, now they have $2.4 billion. And now that $10 million, whatever the risk is, just got cut in half, right? And the higher it goes from like 10 to 5 to 2.5 to 1.25. It basically goes like it's basically irrelevant. So at what point do they? It's like an accordion. There's essentially two accordions. There's like the price of Bitcoin, and then there's how much debt. But this one's the interesting one because they control it.
Right?
How far? Where do they take it? Like if this company was run by Sailor, that debt would reach $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's $1 billion amongst friends?
And they talked about buying shares back, but they're not going to buy shares at $100. They're going to buy shares at a discount. Mm-hmm. So, and how is there a discount? Because some retail took losses. Now, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right about Stretch and his company. He's absolutely right that a lot of institutional traders on the daily are trading the company, but who are the majority holders over time? It's retail, of course. Now, is there some large players are holding some? Of course. So even if it was 50% retail, 50% institutional guys, or very intelligent, big brain motherfuckers, right? Who's going to take the majority of the losses? Retail is. Mm-hmm. That's going to hold it back. When this thing goes from $100 to 50 to 40 to 18, I don't think it's going to go down to $10 or $18. But I mean, fairly certain it's going to go to $40. And at that point, they might buy back shares. It'll repeg to 100 or whatever, and they don't have to pay the dividend on it too. If the company goes bust, they like the bondholders in the capital structure. It'd be bondholders, then stock. Normally, it's like preferred. It's usually like if it's a normal structure, it would be bondholders, preferred stockholders, and then common stock. But because the way they've set this up, it's a quasi bond. They get nothing. The dividend is not promised. Whatever the price of the market, that's what the price of the market is. And if it goes bust, they're entitled to no debt after obligations are paid back after the company gets torn up. Dang. So it's just a game where when just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah. What are you doing? I understand some people want to, but people just want that passive money. It's like, $1 million you get $130,000 a year on income. You might be able to earn it for 3 years. Maybe. Then you would sell it. That would be the move to do it, is to get the fuck out of it, basically. But you have to. But look at the kind of person you have to be. You have to know cycles. You have to know the 4-year cycles. You have to be in crypto a while. You also have to have that sort of amount of money. And it's like the likelihood that person knows that is like.
Yeah.
Now the traders, the big brain people, maybe it's a BC. They'll know that. And
if they watch the channel, take the crypto mindset course, they'll know that.
They'll absolutely know that, right? But it's knowing, but let's just take that out, because I think they're going to be a little bit safer. They're going to run the safety parameters a lot better than someone like Sailor. But Sailor will take it to the nth fucking degree. Yeah, because he always has. I mean, he's sold the furniture if he could sell it, But put up the screen, Kyle. So
what do we got here?
We got the roll up. We got Chainlink. I'm not saying God. This guy ain't no God, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. This guy was shilling Chainlink and fucking disappeared. He disappeared off of Twitter when it fucking started going down. Didn't hear up. He disappeared for years. when Chainlink didn't do
Typical
shit.
crypto move, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like this, if I remember correctly, this guy mostly came out in 2020, showing Chainlink. It did a nice run. Chainlink essentially went nowhere. I mean, I think it did like a 2x in 21. It didn't. It really didn't do much. Was Chainlink around 17? I can't remember. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Was okay.
Yeah, it was in. I think where did it get created in 2017 or 2018?
Yeah.
It was where I noticed it was beginning of 2019. It started moving off of its lows early.
Yeah.
It was Litecoin and Chainlink and maybe one other coin that were moving at the time, nothing else, and it preceded Bitcoin's move by maybe like a couple weeks. So I was like, oh, interesting. You know, it was kind of like a little canary in the coal mine type thing. But I mean, it went from, I'd have to look at the chart, but it went from like less than $1 to $40, you know, in the 21 cycle. So if you're talking about from the end of the bear in 2019 through 2021, it did a good move. But if you're talking about like the hype part of the cycle where all altcoin season is going crazy, it did its move in the first half of the cycle, and it kept moving in the second half of the cycle. But it, like you said, it didn't do as many gains at the end simply because, you know, a lot of profits were being taken off of it. That being said, right, if it were allowed, basically if no profits were taken on it at that time and it was allowed to shoot up with alt season, it would have gone a lot higher, past $100 for sure. But, you know, what they were learning from was Ethereum in 2018. Ethereum didn't sell off enough Ethereum in the bear market to pay developers, or a lot of projects related to Ethereum didn't do that, right? And so a lot of them went bust.
Yeah, a lot of them went bust because they were holding Ethereum because they didn't know it really, and also stablecoins were newer at the time as well. Most of them were holding, if they were lucky, they were holding some Bitcoin, but even Bitcoin went down. They were holding mostly Ethereum from their ICO or IPOs or ICOs, and as Ethereum's price kept going down, their payroll stayed the same. Yeah. So, and they ended up selling more and more. It just caused a huge problem, basically, where like there were some investments made to kind of backstop Ethereum. I wish I could remember who it was. I think it was actually from the digital currency group. What's his name? Schilbert gave some emergency loans out and stuff.
Probably,
gave some big money out. It was a couple other people that put money out into there and basically stopped the bleed.
Yeah, and so I mean, if you look at Chainlink in that time, right, they were like, okay, we're not going to let that happen to us. So we're going to slow down our coin. You know, that way we make sure we have enough money to survive in the next cycle. So long term, as an organization, it made sense. You know, but to people who wanted to speculate, obviously, you know, if you're late to the party, you're late to the party.
Yeah. And now, like, Chainlink is starting to do some good things with the token now, finally, and they're doing some buybacks finally.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of connections with the White House and Wall Street right now.
And they are finally starting now to make some money off their network because everybody uses them as an oracle. Right. So, like, I'm not saying Chainlink is a bad coin. I just remember this sort of shit here is like this guy was throwing out retardedly high numbers. I don't forget, like you know, I don't forget, like just like I shot at some. Well, okay, let's be honest. We did hit the 10,000x on Hex. I don't want to hear shit. We did hit that. Yeah. But like at no point did I ever say like in a serious tone like Hex 55 and you know $55.55 or 5,000 like what the fuck, you know. There's some it's like hitting XRP $800 and you know $69 you know what I'm saying, like ridiculous levels, right? But I did remember somebody asked me when we were at 40 cents. Well, look, this is a 10,000x. If it does break above, and we are, I mean, it could go to $1, but like $1 is such a big psychological point that there's going to be a lot of selling at $1. I did say that, and I was like, if it did go up there, I said, I think I can go find the stream one day. It was like you should probably sell take some profits at 90 cents if it goes that high, but like it has to get there, and it didn't. You know, obviously, but you understand, like if a coin's already gone from like 3 cents to we're at 50, it going to $1 is not really crazy, right? It's that's the difference versus like we're at 50 cents and I'm like, shit's going to $5, bro. Like I don't, you know, no, basically. But yeah, very elaborate tweeter and stuff was I don't think, you know, now he's gone public face, which is cool. I mean, I do respect that at least, but yeah, let's hear what they have to say. Like they're kind of talking about ultrasound money, which like I'm also of the in this camp here that was the exact right way. A deflationary currency that gets rarer over time is really, really, really juicy, and it was bastardized almost on purpose. Me and Charlie are really under the assumption that like it was like the whole L2. I mean, I understand putting money into L2s and building them up, but basically it was a failed experiment for a long time now. I mean, you could have said since 23, really, but like I understand giving it to 24, but it took Vitalik until 25 to like say enough, start coming back, return to monkey. And now like there's some people starting. There's one chick's out here saying like, oh no, this shit's getting terrible right now. Like the fees on Ethereum are going up. Well, that's good. I mean, the fees on Ethereum are still cheap. There's scaling that will happen to Ethereum. They're bringing privacy over here, but there's a concerted effort to try to dethrone Ethereum. But like, who's going to take their fucking place?
Yeah.
Like it's decentralized, and it's one of the few places you can actually put these stable coins.
Yeah, and central bank digital currencies are being built on it as we speak. So if governments and large organizations in Wall Street are going to trust Ethereum, yeah, there's nothing else that's going to take its place.
Right. But it's like, you think it's going to go on Near Dogs? Please. Solana, please. Solana, but I heard of a time where Solana was shut down 7 times a year and Sonic cost 2 of them.
Yeah, it's just as ridiculous as the argument that ETH is going to flip Bitcoin. Right. It's like, nah.
I used to be definitely a bit of an ETH maxi in the past. What really sold me, and I'm not ashamed to say this, was the ultrasound money story. The idea that Ethereum would be adopted and that would lead to revenue and directly lead to a deflationary native coin was a story that just made sense because it directly connected adoption to token value accrual in a very direct way. But now that Ethereum's revenue fell off a cliff by like 99.9% because they shot themselves in the foot. They took the most valuable part of the stack, which was MEV, contention fees, and congestion fees, and forfeited that to all the L2s to capture, and then focused on the least monetizable part of the stack, which is data availability and settlement. They kind of shot themselves in the foot in that regard. So that ultrasound money narrative completely died. And at this point, I've talked to quite a few like Ethereum people, and the pitch is essentially, well, as the Ethereum blockchain gets more adopted, ETH is going to be used as a store value in DeFi. Like that's a given assumption, which maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't think that's necessarily a given assumption that ETH will be a store of value that people will use, particularly as more and more tokenized assets come on chain. Those markets are denominated in stable coins and tokenized deposits. No one's using ETH. Hyperliquid doesn't use ETH as the currency, it uses USDC. Same with Lighter. Lighter uses USDC. They don't use ETH in any way, not as a store of value and barely as a revenue generating asset. So the story's just kind of changed.
But what is USDC built on, Miguel?
Ethereum.
So in a way, they're not using Ethereum, the token, but they're using the network. I mean, that's going to create fees. Right. That's going to, that's part of it.
Dude, and this fixation over fucking Hyperliquid, I'm starting to get a little sick of it. A little bit, bro. Like, there's a higher than like 30% chance that it's going to do a GMX and fucking flop. Not flop in terms of the token. Because, like, how many motherfuckers are really going to care about it if they can't make money off the token?
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Like, that's the main advertising. That token has to consistently just keep creeping up, because as soon as that dries up and starts going down or it doesn't move anymore, people are going to move their trading vault, all that money they have on that token over to other stuff. Same thing with Chainlink.
Yep,
it happened to Chainlink too. It happened to a lot of other tokens, and then it'll lose. People still gamble on it, of course.
If they've made money on it, they'll return.
Right.
But yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. But like, it's just so crazy. I mean, they're trying so hard to kind of flip this whole narrative on it and stuff like that. I mean, but they never say to what. They're like,
yeah, it just tells me Ethereum's. I should buy more.
Yeah.
And for Ethereum, I think that the way that Ethereum can make up for it is either it's able to psyops people into believing it's money in the same way as Bitcoin, which, look at Zcash. It's done a fantastic job of doing that. It's not an unviable path. Or it's scaling the L1 aggressively and generating fee revenue through volume, like just immense.
Which is definitely going to happen when you get all real world assets being traded mostly.
We need to clip all these motherfuckers talking shit. Like, just clip, just like, nah, like,
they'll change their tune in the next bull market.
They will.
When ETH is pumping, yeah.
Amount of volume, but it's kind of in this weird path where like it's trying to scale the L1, but it's just not where. Look at all.
I mean, at least that's one good one right there. You got Trezor at least, but like, man, look at all this shit.
Where these other new generation chains are. It's trying to be a store of value.
What the fuck does Frax even do anymore?
But it's just being dominated by stablecoins instead. It's kind of just like this identity crisis mode and then the EF. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
What's going on there, man?
I wish I had an inside view.
Left.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like, they brought on Tomas. I thought things were going well.
Same. Him
and a lot of other people left, and now it's back to the idealism that's been running the EF for a very long time. I don't know. I was starting to get.
And by EF, they mean Ethereum Foundation, just as an FYI.
Bullish when Tomas came in and the whole, focus on pragmatic adoption and build what users need. And now it's back to what they were doing for the past few years. And so I don't know what's going on there. It's like, and I don't think what's happening with Ethereum is necessarily unique to Ethereum. I think this actually applies to a lot of other L1s. The difference is that Ethereum's worth $200 billion.
And that's the key thing that's true. Like, over time you build up, the Ethereum Foundation just got ridiculous on the size of it and the amount of people that work for it and people who like need money from it or need grants and stuff. And there's a lot of work that just never came to fruition or just taking forever to get done. So, and the same thing happens, it's in Solana as well.
Yeah.
It's a near, maybe near a little bit less, but still like, but he's also right, like it's $200 billion. So it's just so much bigger that you're able to notice basically. But also like, why is everyone paying attention so much? Because like a lot of other L1s and L2s are essentially kicking their development. It's sort of like Ethereum is the United States and they spend a lot on military. So now they don't have to spend anything on military.
Right.
And they're like, why? It's like, why the fuck are they not spending more on military, or why the fuck are they not advancing their military tech so we can essentially be able to use their military tech? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
and
like,
that's exactly what's happening.
It's like the EU, right? It's like, hey, we don't want to, do everything to defend ourselves, but since the United States has a lot of bases here, they'll do it for us, right? They'll fight any war for us.
Like Germany got their asshole fucking like teared and shit when they're like, the United States, well, okay, we'll pull out our fucking military from Germany. Hey,
1 second.
We didn't say all of that now. Let's calm down. Like Poland's looking a little pissed because we KO'd them twice in war. So like we need to chill. But that's that's a big, that's sort of a big thing right there is like, everyone just copy passes Ethereum, whatever tech they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like the reason a lot of blockchains are faster is because it's like there's, the trilemma, right? Is that there's, for the most part, they're getting more speed by sacrificing decentralization effectively. Right. Or they straight up just copied the Ethereum staking model, but changed certain parameters, maybe decentralize it a tiny bit, or basically lower the amount of like gear it takes to actually run transactions. Because if it's just transactions, like Ethereum can actually handle quite a lot of transactions. It's actually the smart contract part.
It's easy to make something that's not a clogged network because nobody's fucking using it.
Correct.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as you make that popular, it's gonna have the same problems as ETH. Like,
right. It's not that expensive. It's not Ethereum can send a ton of I could send, if I'm just sending Ethereum or making like Uniswap swap, or I should say very soon Aerodrome swap. It doesn't cost that much, but it's a smart contract when it's like do this plus this plus this. That's what clogs it up because there's a limited it's still running on the EVM, which is like the Ethereum virtual machine. It can only handle so many of these smart contract transactions per block.
Yeah,
it can handle a lot of regular ass like sends and stuff like that, but I think the ultrasound money thesis is totally correct. It just needs, the transactions need to go up and just not too crazily. And Ethereum right now we should be talking about Ethereum getting close to 100 million tokens or 10 million tokens, 110 million token supply. Instead, it's at 120 right now. It should be, if imagine Ethereum during this last bull run, if it actually burned away 20 million tokens of its supply.
Price would have gone past 5,200.
Interesting. And then because most people are like, well, no, that happened. But if you look at the total market cap, people don't care. Like, hey, bro, I bought it $900. It's at 7,000. I don't care. I'm happy. I'm up in X's because like people only care about the tokens they hold.
Yep.
That's what it. Or how about this? How about they just jack up the fucking buying the tax they charge per transaction because the transactions cost nothing anyway. Just put up a little flat tax on it. Like it's almost like every transaction's minimum. We have a 1 cent burn per transaction. It's going to cost 1 penny, which is just nothing.
Yeah.
But those little pennies add up.
Yep.
And it starts deleting supply. That's all you need.
Yeah.
But they need to do it right. Well, they could even set this. 1 cent extra buying burn, 1 cent to the foundation. No one's getting, if I have to pay like 3 cents to send Ethereum to my wallet, who cares? Right? No, really. It doesn't matter. But imagine sending this 1 or 2 cent like tax on every transaction, right? It can generate, now the foundation's like, hey, you have a steady amount of income. You don't have to dump your fucking Ethereum anymore. Dumbasses. The fuck is wrong? Like, this is like some of the stuff that they like are missing. That like come on, you guys, like, let's stop. Like, increase the buy and burn, and then let's give a little money to the foundation so they stop selling. So we stop dumping Ethereum, and then we have, and then in the contract, like, that money gets pulled together and gets turned to USDC, and they're only using USDC now instead of Ethereum. Done.
Yeah, if people are truly only using stable coins, like for example, Tether now has a stable network, right, which allows you to basically transact, you know, on a stable coin efficient network.
Yeah.
Right. Like if people are only going to really be using stable coins, then that chain's going to beat Ethereum. Which, if you listen to that, of course, that's not going to happen, right? But yeah, there's holes in the argument for sure.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's holes in the argument, but let's keep hearing what they're saying.
So like it's going to be held to a very high standard. It's the same reason I talk about XRP, not because I really care. It's because it's worth so much relative to what I think the fundamentals are. Like there's a long trail of L1s that have problems way worse than Ethereum.
Relay is the home of cross-chain swap.
Yeah, but oof. See how they get you, man? The little ads right here at the end. But at least it's their own ad. You know,
yeah,
that's
no,
cool.
if you do your own, you know, shill, I respect that because you know
you can pull screen.
Got to keep the lights on in the Empire State Building.
No, absolutely.
Did you see that? Where is that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Got to keep the lights on in there. That's so funny. Oh my god, man. But where's the current price of BTC right now?
You want me to pull up the chart?
Yeah, let's pull up the charts, man.
And then maybe, yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah, I forgot I haven't shared it yet. Go to 60-day cycles because allegedly those are, what do you call it? Frightening to some people. The truth is scary, right? Let me know once you got it. All right, so we are on day 55 of the 60-day cycle for Bitcoin with a high on day 38. Got rejected by the 200-day moving average. Moved below each of our areas for further sell-off. Now we've gone below the previous 60-day cycle high, and now Bitcoin's starting to push down on the daily Bollingers. Now, what you can watch for on the daily Bollinger Bands, for anybody who's in the Crypto Mindset course or the Citadel, you can have access to this layered Bollinger Band for free. Just at me in the chat, and we'll give you guys the Pine script. We've given it to many, many people in courses before. But if you look at this, where would we say, okay, Bitcoin's probably really weak and really going to be moving into a strong downtrend? Is if it starts hitting this 3 standard deviation on its Bollinger Bands, so it starts hitting this red area. That means Bitcoin within the day-to-day would have to go down toward $2,000. So that could happen, but based on where the daily candle's opening, we're just riding on that light 2 standard deviation. So Bitcoin's pushing down, but it's not pushing down hard yet, right? And so that type of crash, I don't see like a crazy flash crash happening as it stands right now. So the one thing you can watch for a 60-day cycle low is simply the Bollinger Bands. So if Bitcoin continues to press on this 2 standard deviation, it's going down here, let's see, by about 75, 560, by 500. It's going down maybe $500 a day, right? Bitcoin on the 2 standard. So right now it's at 75,000. If it were to go down to 74,500 in the next 24 hours, you know, it's within the realm of, you know, possibility here of likelihood. Now, if you start seeing Bitcoin float off of these Bollinger Bands, so let's just give a line here. Let's say the Bollinger Band continues to move at this trajectory, right? If Bitcoin each day just kind of bounces on that trajectory, as soon as it kind of floats off and like floats in space, that's a good chance, especially if it lines up with closer to day 60 on the 60-day cycle. That's a good area then to watch for a 60-day cycle low. So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it, so that like basically any time we get closer to May 28th to day 65 would be June 2nd. Anywhere within that period is where we look for a reversal on Bitcoin, basically. So I think, you know, also where do you see this on the RSI? Last 60-day cycle low, RSI was higher, right? Zoom out a little bit here. We're higher in price now. RSI is now starting to go lower. To get price all the way back down below the cycle low is basically not going to happen within the next week or two, right? So RSI can continue down here with price. What is that? Right? That's some bullish divergence as well. So yeah, I think, you're probably going to see RSI get maybe down to where it came down to here, maybe the dotted line, the 30. If it goes anywhere below 30 on the daily, that's also a good capitulation possible sign as well. So we're in that zone here, probably in the next 5 to 10 days to really be looking for that low and then that reversal. And like I've said on my own streams earlier this week, the higher we reverse, and then the earlier we do that, the more bullish we are going into June. Where would I like to see Bitcoin kind of settle down? This area where it broke its sideways trend, it comes down to there and can't really go below it. Or if it touches that 111-day moving average and can't really go below it, maybe like right around 72,000, that would make a lot of sense. And the higher it holds above the 111-day moving average and forms a 60-day cycle low, the more bullish it is as well, and the more likely then it's easier to get back above that, or to get above that 200-day moving average, which would be slightly unusual for a bear market. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Just means because you have that just shows more bullishness, basically. And ultimately, if Bitcoin in the month of June gets back above 83K, then bulls are mainly in control. Pretty much not for the rest of the year, but they're in more control than they're not. And so that's where we can get a double bottom type scenario and not necessarily go to, below 50K. So, but that's in the next 60-day cycle. We'll see what happens there. Right now, we're just looking for a 60-day cycle low. Haven't gotten one yet. We expect one here within the next 5 to 10 days. So let's keep a watch out for that because right now, Bitcoin is testing its 20-week moving average. So if we go there, we turn on our Bollinger Bands. It's touching it right now. The Bollinger Bands are going, or the 20 moving average is going down by about $500 to $700 a week, something like that. So if it goes down again, it'd be 74, let's say 400, 300, something like that next week. So it's a day and a half, 2 days before the next weekly candle. And so that gives you another level that Bitcoin can hold on to, and then alts can basically not dump quite as crazy. Here, if we take a look at our total altcoin market cap, it's coming right where we expected it to. So if it comes down here to about this buy signal here and holds around there, around 715 billion market cap, that's where then altcoins, if Bitcoin's starting to form a 60-day cycle low, that's where a low can come in general for altcoins. Doesn't mean every altcoin is going to bottom at the same time here, but the ones that have already performed in the last 60-day cycle, Pepe did a good move for a little bit. Ethereum did some slight movement. Aerodrome did pretty damn good, and it's holding up well. Zcash has done really well during that time, and it is giving a good pullback here, which for the Citadel, and I'll give this to Citadel as like a little extra gift this weekend. I'm going to give an update here on Zcash in the next 24 hours for the CC Algo market dashboard. And when I do that, I'll take screenshots for the Citadel because they don't have access to that because that's a crypto mindset course play. But simply just because, what do you call it? The powers that be on YouTube are messing with our shit, right? And we just want to make sure to get the alpha out there for, as many people in the Moon Gang as possible, because I'm not, I'm still going to be streaming, but it's definitely going to be muted compared to what, it had been. But we'll see what happens next week on Rumble. This should be interesting, right? Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
But yeah, so things are looking healthy, essentially, going into a 60-day cycle low. So this down move is expected. Like we've been telling you guys about this. So if we hold into a good price and we start getting some macro fundamentals towards the Clarity Act and new Fed chair looking good and stuff like that, then all things, then we basically have good buy opportunities here. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, not necessarily going to be your last chance to buy Bitcoin at this price, but it might only be a handful of times where it's still in this area. So not, no guarantees by any means, but once we get to the middle of 27 or definitely the end of 27, then we're not going to be back in this area. So you might only T minus anywhere between, we might have one more chance to hit this area ever, to maybe you have 10 times where you hit this area, but over the course of the next year. But after that, it's gone, right? So take advantage while you can. The market's, holding up pretty good so far. Let's see how the daily Bollinger Bands treat us. But anyways, that's the synopsis here for the Bitcoin chart. But yeah, any thoughts on your end?
I was like, my mind was just going off of a joke. And the bands have treated us terribly. Terribly, I say.
And the what?
I was like, and the BB bands have
the Bollinger Bands
have treated us terribly.
The Bollinger Bands did us dirty, and Bitcoin went immediately down to the third standard deviation, which means then, you'd probably find a lower low around 68, 69,000, 70, below 70,000 basically, towards day 65, maybe even 70, like a week into June. If that's what happens, that's extremely weak. And then I think we're probably in for a pretty big crash going into the second half of the summer. So like I've been saying all week, June is really, really important. And so the end of May here into June, and then into about the first 3 weeks of June, that whole period there is going to be the period to really watch closely, because that's going to shift strategy for the whole crypto market for the last 30 or 40% of this bear market.
Yeah. So share the screen, Kyle. So breaking, Ethereum's staking ratio hits 32.4%, marking an all-time high.
Nice. And stablecoin issuance is at an all-time high actually as well. Whenever we get more stablecoins in the market, prices hold up because some of those stablecoins are used to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum. So that's on DeFi Llama, but yeah.
Doesn't look like Ethereum's dying to me. Despite the noise, it seems there's still a growing number of believers left. Now, okay, I will say this is fun. This is a lot of fun staking their Ethereum.
Yeah,
of course, but still, but it's bullish.
I mean, even though there's a lot more supply compared to Bitcoin, still somewhat limited because they're not printing it at crazy rates.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. We're gonna have another Bitcoin happening this cycle. I mean, in this next 3 years, which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and shout out to Hex Monkey, man. Appreciate you for sure there. And agree with your sentiment. Really appreciate. I really appreciate all the comments we've gotten in the Crypto Mindset course chat, in the on Twitter, here on YouTube today, as well as in the Citadel and everything. We appreciate you guys.
No, everyone just showed up, man. We were like, there's some people we hadn't seen in forever that started commenting like, what happened?
Fucking bullshit.
He was like, what?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I mean, that was actually really nice,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, I don't. Well, we can talk about that. We were talking about Stretch earlier. This is actually interesting. So, Chad's, that's actually Chad face earlier. Chad Saylor over here, getting interviewed by this lady, and she actually brings up some good points about like what happens if someone just market dumps a ton of like Stretch on the open market.
We got a question from Tyler, Matt, and John. So this was a popular one. We're now seeing DeFi vaults and leveraged products built on top of Stretch. If one of those products were to fail or a large levered pool unwinds, what's the playbook for defending the $100 peg from selling pressure that originates outside of strategy's control?
When you design
So I will say this. So currently there is no derivative product that holds Stretch that's big enough to really hurt it. Maybe in 28 or 29 or 2030 possibly, but not currently right now. That's a really cool picture, actually.
structure to be anti-fragile, whether it's a skyscraper in Manhattan or whether it's an aircraft wing, it's important that it flex. If you try to take the flex or the motion out of the building or out of the wing, it'll be rigid and then it will snap. And so we're not really defending the peg.
I might go on the next time I go to Miami or whatever. I might go with an orange tie. just go full Bitcoin. Just go on there with a Bitcoin tie.
Full max.
of $100 in the same way that, say, a stablecoin issuer would. If you were a bank or a money market or a stablecoin issuer, you have deposits, and they're daily deposits. They're almost debt, like 1 day loans, and you literally have to defend them down to the penny or to a sub-fraction of a penny. That's not the design of STRC. STRC is designed so that it will trade at par for some portion of the month, and then it will trade down 50 or 100 basis points. And that's all part of the engineering. If you look at those DeFi protocols, let's say there's one with $300 million in it. We have $10 billion of AUM in STRC. How does the instrument perform when someone wants to sell 300 million or 500 million or $1 billion of STRC in a single day? Well, we already know the answer. It'll trade down 50 to 100.
And look, this is the honest thing he's talking about here. Is like where like Jeff was kind of swirling around this. Saylor just like, yeah, it'll dump, but you have to understand his stock Stretch, because it is a stock, it is extremely heavily traded. It is literally one of the top traded like equities in the world, actually. I wouldn't say it's number one, but it's like up there. Like I've had to put it, I mean, it's probably like top 50. That's how much is being traded around. So like he's absolutely right. If it goes down to $99 or like to like $98, people are like, oh my God, that's like 1%, or like they talk in basis points. That's 150 basis points for it to go back to $100. That's fucking easy money.
Right.
And they'll buy it up. The scary part that I talked about on stream on my last stream was when there's a psychological level when it breaks below $91, 91 cents on a stable coin. People like the one thing that they're saying is wrong is that people don't think about this. They don't think about this equity like a stable coin. Yes, they do. It's because like there's an extra zero there or 2 extra zeros, but it is like that's exactly how they're looking at it.
Yeah,
that's exactly how they're looking at it.
Basis points, maybe in the extreme it'll trade down 150 basis points, and someone in our ecosystem, not us, a hedge fund, right, a large hedge fund that has 50 billion or $100 billion will step in and they will buy it, and that's why. And
one thing too that he's kind of talking about, these large hedge funds, he probably has deals with some market makers and some large like there's some big money back in Saylor now.
Yeah,
that they're like they'll save them. It's sort of like the movie, like you know that movie with Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, what was it called? That was a good movie.
It was good. It was a good movie.
What was it? Dumb Money.
Dumb Money, right?
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
That dude's not dumb money. He may do ridiculous shit, but he's not dumb. Dude.
No, well, I mean that's what they call
retail.
That's what they call crypto, basically, like any average Joe, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, crypto people kind of keep winning out here,
right?
So not so dumb,
right? But like, there's probably a number where it's like how much money in the movie Dumb Money. They were like, how much do you need? And he was shopping between two guys. One guy he didn't want to take money from, and one that he used as leverage to make the other guy jealous, to possibly offer him more money, basically. And
like how you treat your side chick. No.
Yeah. What was it? March 15th is International Side Chick Day.
What? Really?
You don't know, Charlie? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Charlie. I didn't tell you.
That should be the, what do you call it?
The 13th?
No, like, what do you call it? The National Day of, what do you call it? Celebrating the red pill.
Yeah. Well, actually, a lot of couples, like, I don't ever go out on fucking Valentine's Day. It's a waste of time. Just you can't do shit. Like the restaurants are it's so annoyingly packed.
Yeah.
Like I mean, sure, maybe it's a simple, but if
Netflix and chill is always good. You can always buy stuff in advance to make sure you have a good time and everything like that. But
we've always just gone out doing something in the late night or whatever. Mm-hmm. Vegas is dope for that. But
true. Vegas can handle so much volume. It's crazy. Yeah, there's only about 3 or so million people in the metro area here in Las Vegas in terms of population, but it takes in, I think it's 30 to 40 million people a year visit Vegas.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's more than 10 times the amount of people that are actually living here that go through here every single year. So that's one thing that I like about living in Vegas. It does feel like a big small city.
Yeah,
like the suburbs and stuff are small enough to where you can enjoy it.
Quiet as well. Yeah,
you don't have to have the craziness of the strip, but like at the same time, you can have the Michelin star restaurants. You can have the best quality food. you can have the best quality shows, entertainment, that type of thing. And so it kind of feels like, because Tokyo is about a 40 million person metro area city. It's bigger. I think the only thing, it's the biggest one in the world.
Yeah.
Mumbai is the next biggest, which is kind of funny, in India. But
so is Tokyo bigger than Mumbai?
Yeah.
Wow.
But in terms of metro population,
right.
Within the city limits, I think that might be a different story. But yeah, that's why Vegas kind of like is the GOAT with that, because it kind of is like that giant feel of a city. At the same time, it's really tight knit.
No, absolutely. So obviously, there's some people that are like, they have like, yeah, we'll save you, we'll give you billions to make sure you stay up and shit.
It is so anti-fragile. So I think that, and I think you can see it. It seems like we have about $1 billion to $2 billion of support when the instrument trades down 75 to 100 basis points. That'll just walk into the market very quickly. But if someone were to dump $2 billion of STRC on the market in an hour, right? Like just take an extreme amount. You'll see the support for STRC will exponentially increase as the price falls. So below 99, there's a lot more support. Hedge funds will walk in and buy it because they get a quick 150 basis point gain in a couple of days. Below 98, you will see even more support. Below 97, even more support. This is, if you study the way ships are designed, where they have a center of gravity, and the whole point of nautical stability is there's a force, as you push the ship down, there's more force pushing it up. And as the ship sways left or right, there's more force.
Pushing it up and down, huh? Wonder that, like a volleyball under the pool water?
Bringing it back. It's basically stability theory. And so I think we're not concerned about the fact that someone may decide to sell some large amount of STRC. The instrument's literally designed so that it's insanely profitable for the hedge funds and the other credit investors to buy it. That they would, if I were to talk to them, there's a lot, they will buy it at 97 or 98 if they had the opportunity. They'll sell it at par, right? They exist to actually support it back up to par. And when it's trading at $99.98, they don't have much incentive to step into the market. The incentive for all of the third parties that support our ecosystem increases exponentially as it trades further away from par. So you could think.
Yeah, so it's like if it actually goes down $1, like it goes to $99 flat, it might be worth for them to buy $100 million in one shot, because they'll make $1 million on a trade and sell back, and that's like nice little clean profit.
Yeah.
But if it goes down below, they'll put billions in, because the amount of money just multiplies. So like we haven't, like they threw a few billions in, it goes up back $3, they secured about $100 million in profit. Psh, not bad.
Not a bad day at the office.
The whores will be moaning in fucking San Francisco and New York that day. You know these motherfuckers party, bro. Hey, I gotta respect them. I got finance bros. I gotta respect. At
least Saylor does it cleanly, right? Because what do you call it? He was never on Epstein's island.
Yeah. The big thing with him was like Epstein, like not Epstein. Sorry. Actually, you want to know something that's funny? Like, so you know El Cortez.
Yeah.
I like El Cortez, but like one of the owners of El Cortez is literally named Kenny Epstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like I was driving in and I saw him. Like I was driving in on how there's billboards all over like the 15.
Yeah,
I saw a billboard and I was like, Kenny Epstein.
It's like with that last name,
but it's okay. Yeah,
the climate. Yeah,
it's the climate. Yeah, there's no women in San Francisco. Yeah, there's a bunch of Asians. There's a bunch of fours who thinks they're tens. Yeah. I forgot what it's called. Was it 49s or like no 49ers? Yeah, it's called the 49. Yeah, the 49ers. Funny. Yeah, a bunch of fours that think they're nines.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Are they gold diggers as well?
Sir. Yeah, come on. I mean, these bitches are like running these fucking dudes' pockets.
Hey, tighten up. I'm about to spaz with it. I'm about to go crazy. Check this out. Y'all. Hey.
When your bitch knows about stock options, run away. Run away.
True story, yeah.
So what do you use for cold storage? What like, man, if a chick asks me, what do you use for cold storage device? put full screen right now. Bro, I was talking to, so I've been on this whole, the gene thing, right? And everything like that, the gene maxing stuff. And I told Rolo and I told everyone once again, if I'm not right now, I will eventually be right eventually, right? Well, this is now like the first viral thing about gene. Not like normally it's just mostly like dudes or chicks trying to go after, like a chick's always trying to go after a tall guy. Yeah, of course. Or like, a lot of guys like short girls, or at this point, girls. guys like any girl with a pulse that like, hey, you're not terrible.
Gives them attention.
Gives them attention, really, right? But what's happening now is like the Wasians it's the first group that's now gone viral as like a brand new subgroup because it's always been known just like how there's like light skinned black guys, like red bones, yellow bones. You've heard of these terms, right? But they're usually kind of a lot of people. It's either sexualized or they mean in a very negative connotation.
Yeah.
But now the Wasian one, which has been known for a while, has now really gone viral now. And now there's this huge feud within the community, just like how there's yellow bone and red bone or whatever in the black community.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like depends on the mix. Basically, it's basically like you're more like. It has a lot to do with skin tone. Basically,
you're darker.
You're light brown but kind of reddish, and then there's like more of an Asian yellow. It's so stupid, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
When you get people dissecting like groups within their own groups, they tend to be more racist against themselves than any other group against them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, that's weird.
But now there's a group hitting within the group. So the Wasians, there's a Wasian war going on, and it's white dads with an Asian mom group versus Asian father with a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the Asian father with the white woman's winning right now because they're throwing stones right now. I don't know who started the war in the Wasian community, but right now it's like, but they're like, bro, these Wasians with the white dads with the Asian mothers are chopped, bro. And they're coming out these huge things of like.
That's always been kind of funny to me, like kind of reverse culture shock coming back to America, seeing how Asians deal with each other within a secondary culture like America versus how they do in Asia. It kind of blows my mind because they're so Americanized that like, what do you call it? They just have such a different thought process. I'm like, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's always funny to me. Cause like, for example, so like growing up, some of my Filipino friends were like super into anime, but I'm like, that's not really your culture, right? I get it. Right. It's like Asian general culture.
Yeah.
But like in Asia, right. The Chinese, the Koreans, the Japanese are like, you call it a Korean Japanese and they're like, what the fuck? And you call it Japanese Chinese. They're like, what the fuck you call Chinese, Japanese or whatever, and they're like, what the fuck? So versus in America, they're like, hey, I guess we'll kind of accept all those. So I always thought that was kind of interesting, just because once you have multiple generations in America, then they have to they basically kind of assimilate towards each other a little bit more. I'm not sure. I don't think that happens as much in Latino culture because you do have more distinct. I think you guys are kind of like closer to your home country a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So there's more divisiveness within there.
So like
Latino in general is a thing that I think white people put more onto
the whole group. It's like blacks. Well, there's African blacks and there's African Americans and like there's a difference.
But it's less a race thing and more of like a, what do you call it? A country culture thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, like,
but it's a broad stroke.
I had a meme. I just didn't have a chance to upload it today. But it was actually Top G talking about there's only 5 races on the whole earth. There's whites, Russians are whites. There's blacks, Africa, they live here. There's Asians, they're living this whole. There's Pakistanis, and then he lumped like India with Pakis and the whole area there. And there's Mexicans. Everything in Mexico and below are Mexicans. And like these are the 5 groups on the planet. That's like, but like the big thing that I would say the lefties were pushing for, they were trying to push Latinx, which is like,
that's weird.
And here's the reason they were trying to push it, because if they got everyone to use Latinx, they were going to start pushing this whole like, they were basically, by putting the X on there, they were trying to basically include like LGBT shit.
Really?
That's what it was.
They were trying to genderize the language.
Exactly.
Because it's like
because it's
Latino,
Latina, X. They're like, I don't know what it can mean. This is why we're like super against it, because we're very, very, very anti that shit. And I mean, most Latinos, most people, it doesn't matter if Salvadorian, Mexican, Cuban, whatever, they're like Latinx, the fuck is that? Like everyone's like, it's been Latino since I've been born. It's gonna Latino until I die. Let's say whatever, But like, it's crazy. Like it's straight up crazy. Like I mean,
it's worse than a slur.
And they're so mad about it too because they're like, fuck, it's not sticking. Because everyone's like every person that gets Latinx, everyone's like, ew, what the fuck? Because we know what it is. They're just trying to use that as a way. You're right. Get rid of the genders in order so they can put the LGBTQB in the community, which they failed because I've talked about this. The fuck, at least in the main in the Latino community from the 80s and 90s into the 2000s, like the lesbian push, which of course most guys aren't against it, but that's a gateway drug.
It's different when it's butch,
right. Well, but like the lesbians, of course, there's always lesbians, but the lesbian push didn't really go through because of like basically Selena got killed by her manager. Or well, it wasn't really a manager, but it was like sort of family friend, basically. Yeah, in a way, right? And
who needs enemies when you have friends like that? God damn.
Yeah, she was. Anyway, so she got killed by her and whatever, and she was a lesbian. So everyone was like, man, everyone's moms are like fucking lesbian whores. Fucking, it was beat out of bitches.
And if your channel still up and mine's down now, I'm just saying.
I've talked about this multiple times. I've talked about this, Charlie.
From a very young age, I knew everyone was wrong and I was right. I'm literally never wrong. And if I ever am wrong, it's just because I didn't have enough information or I was too early. I'll say something, no one will believe me, it won't happen. Then some time passes, and then all of a sudden, what do you know? I was right. That's the only way that I'm slightly wrong. And even then I'm wrong for a little bit. I was never really wrong. And I just love when I finally see the proof of what my gut was telling me, when it finally comes true, and then everybody understands. I knew in my gut, and I should have trusted it more, and it did become true. I didn't have any reason to believe it. I just knew something. My intuition was right. And it's honestly scary how often I'm right and how often my intuition is spot on. And honestly, there are times where I'll say that I'm wrong and you're right, because at that moment, that was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to say. So technically, bear with me here, I'm still right. And I wouldn't even mind admitting when I'm wrong, because honestly, it would give me a break from always being right, but it just doesn't happen. I just always knew this from a young age, that everybody's wrong and that I'm right. I just think there's some people that are typically wrong and there's some people that are always right. And I think I'm one of those people.
Yeah, but it's but like I already know she was head of the fan club and all that stuff, and then she tried to defend herself, saying like, well, I was like taking care of this for years and like never got any paid for it and stuff. But then she basically started like booking, like you can meet her backstage if you send money through like mail, and so she took a shit ton of money in, and so she was stealing, and they cut her off. But who the fuck knows? Because like there's the other conspiracy theory that's been coming out with her is like the dad may have been involved.
Her dad.
Woo. Yo. And because them checks is rolling still. Oh yeah, like bro, she was literally like, I hate to say this because like Beyonce's like fell the fuck off today. But she was, but like she was like the Beyonce before Latinos, completely. Like she was megastar. But obviously in this era, it would have been she would have been found out that she was cheating on her husband, and she would have been doing. So she did whore activities, but and then also, the whole Jennifer Lopez movie did a lot of wonders for PR as well. She did a great job. It was a great movie. And the whole thing is like the song is just Mi Secret Amor and everything like that. Everyone thought like because of the movie, like, it's because her dad didn't want her to get with her band member from the Dinos and stuff. That's why. No, she was actually she was talking about not her husband. She was talking about her fucking plastic surgeon who she was fucking and getting all these plastic surgeries from. Goddamn whores, bro. Always across history, but regardless, right? But because of her, right? And it was a simpler time, and media was very controlled. Lesbian bad, and so it was quashed, and it was like really that this is why they pushed out like guys like Bad Bunny, and like he has some good songs, but like the cross dressing, that's why that shit has gone so bad. Like him that backfired on him a lot.
Who's that? Fat white British guy.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
true.
Churchill, no.
Churchill. Well, hey, shout out.
No, there was that singer. What was his name? He basically like had some pretty good songs back in the early 2010s, and now he just
Adele?
Like no, well, but he just dresses up as like in black leather devil related stuff now.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith. I was like, you just see that same trend with so many different.
Progressively gets feminine.
Or the guy, what's that black guy's name? Not Nas.
Oh, Little Nas X.
Little Nas X. Yeah. He went, oh my God, bro. That went from one level to another.
It was so ridiculous. Everyone, even in the industry, was like, what are we doing? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was
He was giving the devil a lap dance. Didn't he have shoes with blood in it?
Yeah, dude, it was just
like you know what it's so in your even the people who are asleep were like, what? Yeah, and everyone went, what?
Weird.
He hasn't done shit since. I mean, it was like so like insane. Like fuck.
That music video was just probably a rendition of his meeting with Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah. But you know, that's a sort of thing. That's the sort of thing there and stuff. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like in terms of like, yeah, everyone still has their culture, but like everyone's so used to like everyone's being like you're like Mexican, like all the other Latino groups because they're smaller, except for like Cubans in like in certain areas because the population is so large there, right? No one can you can't confuse a Mexican for a Cuban in like Miami. It's like it's impossible. We sound so different.
Watch me, Miguel.
Watch me, Mexican bitch. Or fuck, that's so funny. But like that's what it is. Just like the groups are that. But yeah, it's like if you like, I don't think anyone get mad for being called Latino. But like, but what are you like? Then usually the question comes after is like, what are you? Are you Mexican, Cuban? You know,
your nationality.
Like, oh, I'm from Dominican Republic. I know black.
I call you Poppy.
No, I Dominican.
I love
I Dominican. Charlie.
I love your reaction every time we go into an Uber in Miami and any male driver calls you like Poppy or anything like that. You're just like so weirded out. It's hilarious to me. Like, I understand.
It's like I wanted a cab. He's like cutie, hey, cutie, like cutie, bro. Like let's go this way,
daddy.
Cutie. Daddy. Like
you know, the Mexicans have their own version of that shit. It's all the people saying "ba." Oh, I'm like, get the ew.
But literally, like the Spanish me and Kyle grew up with is literally the Spanish that was in like Narcos Mexico. Yeah, literally, I mean a little bit less, but like it's around. It's like the same shit. Like
it's because we learned from
workers,
and we're in a rural town in the mountains, you know. So it's like
we were around construction crews, like people who worked in the fields, you know, like those. That I wouldn't say gutter talk, but it was like. No mames, way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you call it? Like blue collar.
Yeah, but it was like very blue collar Spanish and stuff. And then there's like movie star Spanish, which is like they say the entire word. Like there's no like, it's very
they
like.
enunciate everything.
Everything's perfectly said. And then and then here's another fucking trip about Latino culture in like Mexico specifically. Actually, this is in a lot of countries actually in Latin America, is that all their telenovelas and movies are like only depict rich people that are almost white looking.
Yep. I always thought that when you turned me on to that a little bit in Latino culture, like how like what do you call it? You differentiate between like the skin color.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always thought that was like, for me, I didn't quite, I was just kind of like, that's odd. But like, and it wasn't the richest guy in Mexico.
Slim.
Like
Carlos Slim.
You look at that guy,
German.
He's like extremely white. And like,
he's 100% German.
He's totally in on Bitcoin, but like, which is interesting. But the first time I saw him, I was like, this guy's Mexican. I was like, how is this possible? Like, this is just
he can
like
speak Spanish better than me.
My brain a little bit.
100% he can speak Spanish better than me. But like, yeah, he's like not even like there's a different, and that's when people say there's a different. Like, you understand if you move here, you come with your wife, but it's weird after like 7 generations in Mexico that like you don't mix even a little bit.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. I mean, we all have preferences, I guess, but like it's interesting. Yeah. But that's like that's like that kind of culture there, like sort of the same thing. Like, I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but it's like whites from this state versus that state. There is a difference.
Oh no, the way white people differentiate is, first of all, are you white trash or not white trash?
Yeah,
like that's the first differentiation.
Okay, can I ask you one question? Does white trash ever get out of being white trash? Does it tell me?
It's hard because it's more of a mindset. I'm serious. Like,
but I got a double wide now.
Yeah, the things they flex. The things they flex on.
Channels on.
The things they flex on are sus for sure. But what do you call it? So like, if you look at somebody like Theo Von, absolutely kills it, hilarious,
right.
And he leans into that like really well, right? And he's ascended, but he still takes, what do you call it? That badge, I guess, and like uses it to a good effect in the higher echelons.
And he's got royal blood.
Really?
Yeah.
Of French or what?
Yeah. Kyle would probably know, but like Theo Von did like some like he's related to some.
Oh,
some, like,
yeah.
Some royalty.
I don't know if it's Dutch or something, but he is royalty.
Weird.
That's
Surprise. Convenient.
Interesting.
But
yeah. It don't look like it, but I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah, I guess the only other differentiation of white you get is, are they still European or are they American?
He's Polish nobility. His father, Roland Theodore Achilles von Kurtowski, holy shit, was born into a family traces back its
Write it in the chat. Write it in the chat. Write the whole royal name in the chat.
RP Life is right. Is Joe Dirt white versus quarter zip discipline white.
Yeah, but there's different types of white, because there's the quarter zip discipline. Okay, there's that finance for white collar, right? Because there's a white collar, then there's also WASP white collar.
Yeah, I think that's more people from other groups looking in. But you get, like, if you're going to go with the religion bent, right?
Oh, okay. But I'm just talking about the look, not the religion.
But that's where I would say a lot of people differentiate themselves culturally is through religion.
Got you.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you how I look at it. But like, it's interesting to hear your take on it, because like you're in the game.
Not by choice, but yes.
Some say elite ball knowledge.
Well, I do come from Minnesota, where it's snowy.
Bro,
it's very snowy.
Can I say one thing? I got some heat apparently, because like during my last stream, like the almost 4 hour live stream I did, I talked in the beginning a little bit about anime. The most viral one I got so far is me talking about. I got so much hate from people in anime, such virgin losers, bro. Like, did I lie that Truck Kun kills almost everybody in these isekais?
It's because you didn't get 100% correct things. So that's exactly, they're like autistic with
they're
that shit,
autistically
man.
retarded. They know what I'm talking about. Like,
exactly. They're just not.
And that's only a clip. I kept talking during. This is the problem with clips. It's like these shorts. I mean, these shorts is that they're like 30 seconds sometimes, right? You don't get the whole point across, right? But like what I said is, in isekais, right? The majority of isekais, the majority of them, right? They come from Japan, Korea, China. Yeah, the majority. There's starting to be some American ones, but not really. They're not good. There's something called Truck Kun, which is basically this. Usually, it's one of those delivery trucks. They cost like 1900
white blank delivery
trucks and stuff they use for like just transporting stuff in the out there, right? And usually, it's like they help some girl. Like, oh my god, this girl's got to get run over. You push her, you save her, you get killed, and you wake up in a fucking magical world. You regress back to 8 years old. Or Truck Kun, you're just walking one day and there's an accident, or like you get killed, and there's also Knife Kun.
Yeah,
like some random guy that stabs you and you die, and you're like,
you're just bleeding,
and then you wake up in a medieval world, like stupid shit. Like that is literally. I mean, I'll go on the fucking record. It's probably 80% of isekais is how it's nowadays. But now it's starting to go back down, because it was 80% even a year ago. Now we're starting to get so many people copying, like okay, a lot of people are starting to copy. A lot of these video game isekai ones now that all came from what's
Sword Art
Online, which is and then all the eventual ones that kept going from there. But basically, it goes like this: it's like one day we're all living in the classroom, and then a gate opens, and the gate opens, and then this player, then like we're in this game, or it's that sort of shit. So like it's either the gate comes out or you get killed by a truck. And that's all I said. But these months, well, actually, and they're like bros, searching your hearts, stop being faggots. Like enough, dude. Like what are we talking about? Soul leveling shit, and that's really what pushed it further. But it's really the Koreans and the Japanese really out here, but the Chinese are coming up as well. Like so, like it's really cool. Like and also I was talking about manhwas as well. Well, that's more the Chinese one, but like but that's being that was the name kind of for Korean ones, and now everyone's just calling it manhwas now, which is like underground animes. They're hoping that it gets adapted into actual like a 12 episode run of an anime on Crunchyroll or one of these other websites, and it's really good. It's really hard for an anime to go past 12 episodes.
Right.
Because
they gotta get some money.
They gotta make some money. What they usually do is they use those 12 episodes as a way to sell the manga, and then that gives them the money.
It's like a pilot.
Yeah, it's a pilot, but it's just more of an advertising. They never plan to do more seasons. They just use it as a way to sell the manga, and then people now start watching the web cartoon comic, and then that's when they make their money.
Those 12 episodes end up being around on average 2 to 10 million.
Yeah.
So for production, so they're just not willing to invest for another season.
There's so many good like B-level, like sort of like isekais or just good animes. I wish they would make a second season, but like they just never do it. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, and Kyle put in the Theo Von thing. Try to say that family name. God damn.
Yeah.
What? Roland Theodore Achilles von Kurtowski.
The third.
Yeah. The Kurtowski. That's the Polish part, right? And then the Von. Isn't that Dutch?
I'm guessing.
Like it's probably like a Dutch Polish mix. Huh?
Yeah, it's Polish. It's from Poland.
Yeah, interesting.
East noble family. That's insane.
But we digress.
We digress. That might be the name for my new show.
That's a good series.
I digress. But we had just let me refresh this real quick. Interesting sort of things right now. So put it up, Cal.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah.
Now, Crypto Crib 4 hours ago, a wallet linked to Arthur Hayes deposited 115,000 hype, which is about $6 million into Bybit. The wallet withdrew 115,000 hype from Bybit a month ago at $39 and now sitting at a profit of 1.79 million.
If anybody's going to make it out of a leverage exchange and profit, it's going to be this guy.
Exactly. But it's also funny too that he does this while like now, and there's a ton of like, I wish I'd saved him, but like today there's been so many reports about like they have him in a really young picture of him looking good and everything like that of like he just added 30% more to his near position. Near is going to take over. Near is now at $2. You know, it's the hype machine playing out right now. The only thing that scares me a little bit, like I don't like, I'd be more bullish about these things, but like we're in a year where like there still could be one more downturn before, like, so we could still get some good price. So just still look there. As long as you're DCAing and you save up that dry powder, when that emergency does happen, you got the firepower to really lower your cost average on these good coins that you actually have researched, you really like. Even if you just buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, I mean, c'est la vie, you're going to win. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? Like the FUD on Ethereum is because, like, I mean, during this crash, right, it's still above $2,000 right now.
Yeah.
It did go down more than Bitcoin. I mean, like if I go over here, right, look, Bitcoin's down about 2.7, 3.1. If we go on the 7 days, 4.6, 7%. So it's down more, obviously, right? But we're still psychologically speaking, it's at $2,000. It's a lot of money, right? In Bitcoin, look what it's at. Who would have thunk? We're at $75,000. That's a lot of money still.
Yeah.
How many normal regular people have 75 in right now in the economy right now have $75,000 in cash?
1% maybe.
Yeah. You guys have the money to actually DCA and buy. So if you break this down, right? If you want to buy a tenth of a Bitcoin, let me just let this load for a second. There we go. You want to buy a tenth of a BTC, right? It's going to cost you roughly, let's call it $7,600. If you want a tenth of it, if you want 1% of a BTC, it costs you $760, about the average car payment in America. You know, I'd rather be making that car payment to BTC than I would be doing to Solantis Financial or I don't know what other bank they lend you out of, fucking the Lending Hut.
What's that website or whatever, like the dollar loan center? It's like what do you call it? Don'tbebroke.com or something?
Yeah. Oh, I wanted that one so bad, bro. Like, so good, bro. I tried to buy it, but it's gone. It's taken. Beautiful. It was such a good don'tbebroke.com. What a great. I tried, bro. I really did. I wanted that to be a website.
I've seen some of their advertisements and they put some like really attractive looking woman basically like shaming people, don't be broke, come take a loan. I like good marketing, yeah.
Yeah. But look at this, for the same amount, right? 760, right? You get 36% of an Ethereum. It's not bad. It's not bad. And even if you were like $200, like even these small purchases add up. So it'd probably be like 210, probably. Yeah, for $210, you get 10% of an ETH. You throw the rest of the chunk in the Bitcoin. So let's just say you have $1,000. Boom. All right, let me buy 10%, 1% of a Bitcoin. I'll buy the rest of 1,000 some ETH.
Right.
That's winning.
Yeah,
that's winning. Like, what are we doing, you guys? This is how you can one bite at a time. If you slowly make these purchases over time, you can build something up pretty nicely and shit. Obviously, it's difficult to get to a full Bitcoin, right? But this is why, like, we try to, like, you make the regular DCA, you still buy that $1,000, right? Maybe you buy $1,500 of Bitcoin ETH, 500 vaults, but you have that savings. You build up that savings right here of stables, and then when the price really drops down low, let's just say we do get $1,400. You could buy 10 of them or 5 of them in one shot. Yeah. Or you go with, like, let me buy 30% of a Bitcoin now that it's hit 52,000, or maybe it's hit only 65,000. Let's go. Like, because how like a few weeks ago when we were in the 80,000 range, right? We were just a skip away. We were like $36,000 away from the all-time high. Or $40,000, right? It's not that much. It's like basically a 33% increase in price.
Yeah.
And we're at all-time highs again. So you guys think there's a really high chance we retest 126 again in 27.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know how crazy that is. Like in a year from now, we're gonna be like,
especially if we double bottom.
Yeah,
if we get a good June, it's gonna be easier to do that.
Yeah. Kyle, look at what's the average car payment in America? Yeah. So I'm waiting for a crash, but okay, real. That's smart. So I'm waiting for a crash, but you can't just do that.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to start the DCA,
especially when you're below $78,000, even below 75, even better. Below 70, even better. Below 65, getting even better. Right? It's like it gets better down the line, but you're not guaranteed to go down those levels.
Oh my God, Harvard exits. Did
we talk about this as like we were just kind of joking about this prior to stream?
Yeah, no, it happened.
Oh, yeah, I thought we were just joking about that.
I mean, I joked about it, but then it happened because eventually I'm always right.
Correct.
Yeah. So on the money basically. Yep. You see, even when I pulled numbers out of my ass,
it's 600 and 700.
Yeah, which is crazy because I remember a time. This was in early 2010s. I remember it was like 350. Like the average payment was $300 to $400. It was not that much.
Yeah.
But the economy was pretty fucked, bro. The car industry got really rattled.
But it was like that in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Believe it or not, even though every market got rattled, the one market that didn't collapse, even though sales went down, the sales for new vehicles in America crashed violently. As did the sales for existing homes crashed violently from 2008. But most people did not default on their car loan because if they lost a house, you can live in the car. You need a car to go to work. Yeah. So the two things that people did not stop paying for was their car and their cell phone because you needed to make money. You needed to live in society, at least in America.
Yeah.
Right. But let's see what it says here. Harvard sold its full 87 million stake in Ethereum ETF. This divestment happened because Ethereum price expected to decline over the last. That's not really the 10%.
10%
what
over a
the
month.
fuck is?
That's some lettuce hands right
what
there.
What are we talking about, man? Happened because times.
How much did this sell?
$87 million. Their whole holding in Ethereum and the ETF or something
on the stake. Yeah, on the ETF. I know they hold more than that.
They hold more than that. If that's all they're holding, man, Harvard's in trouble. But you can full screen this away. Yeah, but that's like headlines. But they also didn't say they also sold a Solana as well. They sold some Solana as well. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess somebody was asking about the dynamic DCA. In terms of the dynamic DCA along with 60-day cycles, let's say, for example, you're consistently DCAing as long as Bitcoin's below $78,000. You're consistently DCAing into Bitcoin and Ethereum, let's say, right? Then you have a lot of USDC on the side that you're looking to put in at heftier, cheap prices. At the end of each 60-day cycle, which we might have 2, 3, 4, about 3 left, I think, in this 4-year cycle. At the end of each one, you're probably going to get best prices overall. So you can ladder in basically like right now, if you're looking at this 60-day cycle low, probably from what date is that? Like today's the 22nd. About a week from now is where we expect the full 60-day low to be around, right? If it's a regular flat 60 days, so somewhere around like Tuesday the 26th till about Monday the 8th of June, something like that. That's basically almost 2 full weeks. That's where you ladder in based on time, right? As long as you're in the cheaper price zone, basically. So then you do that at the end of every 60-day cycle for the rest of the year, and you probably get a better dollar cost average on a lot of your coins, maybe not all of them, but for the majority that are correlated with with Bitcoin and the rest of the market. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So you take multiple strategies into account, basically.
And
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say anything else on the dynamic DCA, like any other.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, it's sort of like you start heavy handing it, especially around kind of psychological levels. If we break, like the thing is breaking below certain levels, then the DCA can be so like right now, right? We're at a 25%. So 25% of your money is actually of your DCA should be used right now to buy coins that you like.
Mm-hmm.
The 75 should be, the full amount is being put into crypto, but 25 is being used to put into coins. The 75% that's left over, so let's just say it's 250 and 750. The 750 should be going to USDC or Tether, if whatever, depending on your jurisdiction and what you can use, or both. And 250 into whatever coins you like, probably heavier Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe one you like, a little DCA, right? As the prices go lower, you increase that a little bit. You go like, oh, dude, we've dropped good. Okay, back to 50%. Prices are dropping crazier, 75. Full stack into it, and then like things are just juicy. This is when you hit the two keys. Me and Charlie turn the keys. Hit the nuclear button, and then you buy $10,000 in one shot, $5,000 in a chunk. But that's sort of the like you're kind of like, as it goes lower, you go okay.
Yeah, if you're buying the bottom 30, 20, 10% of the low, you're doing good. You're not going to buy the exact low, just as you're not going to sell the exact top.
Exactly. And then two, like time is your friend. When you don't have money, the more time you have the DCA, the more you can actually, you'll surprise yourself how much you accumulate, because also what you accumulate will multiply in price over the years. It's substantial. It is substantial. Because I mean, I've said this before, the average person really only has about 25% of their income as disposable income. Some people less, some people much more. It all depends on lifestyle, single, baby mamas, drama, car payments and all that stuff. But usually like, of your income, you make $100,000, you got about like 20 to 25,000. Also, the more income you make, the more likely it is that you could have more of your income free for discretionary spending. But remember, it still gets, the average American is spending it all. No, and it's really not like I don't want to just say American. The average global citizen is spending most of their money.
If it's happening to Americans, it's usually a harder road for other people in other countries.
The Japanese say better, so do the Germans, but the Germans also spend it as well, but they do it on investments or directly in savings, and then their banks do the investments, or vice versa, depending on how they do their whole thing there. But a lot of people, obviously the cost of living is going up, so there's less discretionary spending. So some people, a lot of businesses are hurting, right? But I wanted to share this right here. So, I forgot the name of this guy, but he's like a finance guy, has some great videos. He talks very monotone and like this, but he's also talking about the SpaceX IPO. I want to hear what he has to say, because it's good to hear, because this is a very, very, very big event that's happening, right? And I've talked about this for, this whole year, basically. That
it's probably one of the biggest events of the stock market in quite a while.
Yeah, it really will be. It going down in price will drag markets down slightly or substantially. And then from there, we'll go back up, basically. It's not the end of the stock market. It's not over. It is the great collapse. No. But it will take the wind out of the sails.
Yeah, it's time to be sowing seeds.
When a company decides to go public, they're required by the Securities and Exchange Commission to file an S-1 prospectus. Historically, these are some of the driest documents ever committed to paper. They're written by corporate lawyers for other corporate lawyers to ensure that no one anywhere is ever accidentally entertained. But 2 days ago, SpaceX filed its paperwork to go public. And reading through it, it became immediately clear that this was not going to be your typical legal disclosure. For a start, it opened with 14 pages of photographs of rockets and satellites, which reminded me of Adam Newman's ill-fated WeWork prospectus, which famously opened with the line, "We dedicate..."
Jesus, bro, man. This Dan throwing shade, but he's right. He's right.
Ill-fated WeWork prospectus.
Dude, WeWork's collapse is insane, dude. But man, they got rock. I mean, COVID. I mean, who the fuck could have planned for that, man? That's insane. Yeah.
Which famously opened with the line, "We dedicate this to the energy of we, greater than any one of us, but inside each of us." That document was later described as one of the worst IPO filings in Wall Street history. The SpaceX prospectus is similarly unconventional, though I will say the rockets are more photogenic than the WeWork community photographs were. The document is also filled with phrases that I'm fairly confident have never appeared in an SEC filing before. Under the business strategy section, right alongside standard disclosures about lease agreements and accounting standards, management explains that their primary...
Wait, unmute. So it's like, extend the light of consciousness to the stars. Extend the light of consciousness to the star. What?
is to extend the light of consciousness to the stars, a phrase that appears 10 separate times in the filing, which suggests that it wasn't a typo. Investors are.
We do not want humans to have the same fate as dinosaurs. I mean, that's legit, but and he's talked about this, but this shit has taken a big back seat about like them going to Mars and not even being talked. Because remember, they were supposed to go in 2028. We're getting close. What? You know, one of their spaceships blew up today.
Oh, really?
Their mega rocket exploded.
That does happen.
Also warned that we do not want humans to have the same fate as dinosaurs, which is a fair point, I suppose. It's the kind of sentence that gets you excited about what the risk disclosure section will look like. The document then goes on to outline a string of future business lines that read like science fiction. They include long-haul point-to-point terrestrial travel, which I think means traveling around the Earth in rockets rather than in airplanes, in-orbit manufacturing, yes, in orbit, passenger and cargo transportation to the moon.
I mean, I think he will pull some of this. I don't know about the travel. I mean, possibly if we're already up there, but like space tourism. Well, can't even talk right now. Space tourism, that's huge. That one would be huge.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they got to dump, fuck yeah. Like who wouldn't want to like? That's gonna be the next the next flex really. Going up there and shit. And like how many people have been in space? I have bitches. Like
you went to Disneyland. I went to space.
Mountain.
Space mountain.
I went to the real space mountain. I'm 0 out of 10. The moon isn't cheese. I'm very disappointed. But energy production and manufacturing on the moon and Mars. I mean, this is not so harebrained. The time it'll take to do this is like it's wild. Yeah. It's a while.
Yeah.
The tourism could next 10 years. Yeah, that one's pretty big. Asteroid. This is the farthest away, but like this is like single-handedly one of the most profitable ones. The thing is like the problem with like asteroid mining is how the fuck to get the material back to Earth. Right. Is the really difficult part because
and be profitable
because it's like, okay, we have this blast area. We just send mini, like if it's too small, it'll burn up in the atmosphere. It's too big. We got some problems. So like it is. So like it being processed up there in the moon, but then you have to there's still gonna be transportation costs to get it onto Earth, which is crazy.
Mars, manufacturing and energy production on the moon and Mars, and asteroid mining. Because why mine for resources on Earth when you can chase down an asteroid in the hope that you'll find useful minerals on it? The acronym AI appears over 200 times in the document. The word consciousness appears 10 times. The word profit appears somewhat less frequently than either.
Like you want to shade this guy's throat.
I know.
It is hilarious. Actually.
He's so funny sometimes, but there's some like videos I watch are so dry. But when he's in his bitchy, like when he's in his voice, he's hilarious, man.
Times in the document. The word consciousness appears 10 times. The word profit appears somewhat less frequently than either of those. What we're looking at is quite possibly the most extraordinary document in the history of American securities regulation. And today we're
Boyle, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Great channel, by the way. He has some really good breakdowns.
Going to go through it because every single thing I'm about to tell you, no matter how absurd it sounds, comes directly from the filing.
Yeah. So like that IPO is going to be interesting. $4 trillion of IPOs. OpenAI, Anthropic, SpaceX, right? And AIX, I guess technically, because it's kind of fused together. Right. Yeah. Asteroid mining drones will be huge. Yeah. 30 years.
Or 50, yeah.
Or 50. I mean, we'll be alive to see it.
Yeah.
We'll Charlie Munger and,
and Miguel Buffett. Yeah.
Buffett. Miguel Buffett. Yeah, Bobby like Miguel Buffet.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But, damn, that's crazy, man. Speaking of, because I had some guy ask me about this yesterday. So, what's his name? Oh, Kinobody. Shout out to Kinobody. But like, he's starting a huge debate because like he is like backing like tricepatide over retatrutide right now. Basically saying that you get better body comp from like triceptide versus like Retta, but the data is like but he's basing it off of like the trial 2 data, which the trial 3 data is about to come out pretty soon and stuff like that. But regardless, they both work. They both fucking work. But like, I would think you so basically you lose a little bit more raw weight, but like off the data he has on triceptide, it looks like you essentially your waist gets smaller a little bit more on the actual like on the actual stuff and everything like that, which is like let me see if I can find it. It's pretty good data, but he started like a firestorm in the bodybuilding community and stuff on Twitter, man, because like people are like, you're fucking wrong, dude, what the fuck, you're crazy, you know, this and this and this. But like let me see where's he at. Okay, here we go. Show my screen. So he's like retatrutide 4 milligram dose, which is that's actually not that high, but like usually like from the data test that people done with retatrutide, 6 is really like the most biggest bang for your buck. But like because 8 gives you a tiny bit more, but like it's really not that much more than 6. So normal people they start between 1 or 2 milligrams for like a month or two, then they go up to 3 or 4, and then 6, and then that's usually where they stop because like you've been on it for like 4 months already to 6 months, and you've kind of hit the weight goal basically already. But triceptide 10 milligram, obviously since they're different compounds, you have to put a little bit more. But the big thing is the percentage weight loss, right? He's like saying they're getting but the big one was like weight circumference. It's like you lose a little bit more like belly fat and stuff, so like your actual like, you know, your pants are fitting looser on triceptide and stuff.
Nausea levels the same. Well, not nausea, but vomiting.
Yeah, this is reported though. Reported vomiting, tingling. I don't know. I know people taking that. They've never told me about tingling. I don't even know. But this is there is a slight increase to your like resting heart rate, but it's not that high, you know. But we'll oh, never mind. Yeah. But you know, the problem also with this data is that there's a lot of people that are overweight, but then there's this is people overweight, obesity that don't work out. Then there's people that are kind of overweight but do work out or are trying to be active. So they haven't done enough tests on people who are actually like because there's people who are bodybuilders doing this and they're on TRT.
Excuse the data.
And it's like it's a much more dramatic effect on people who are like doing testosterone and working out and doing versus like people who are just taking it and then they're just like losing weight because they're not eating.
Yeah, not doing the drugs is not going to be the best way to do it.
Right. But it still works.
Right.
It still fucking works. That's why it's like it's a $1 trillion drug. These are $1 trillion drugs in comparison. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, man. So if you want to support us, man, you want to support Charlie, man, you got to join the Citadel, man. What are we doing?
If you want to free Charlie,
you want to free Charlie, man. Tell them, Charlie, how can they support you?
Oh, well, you guys can come over to the Citadel, cultivatecrypto.com/shop and jump into the Citadel. You basically will get the chat that we have in there. You can ask me and Miguel questions all the time. You can add us. You can ask crypto veterans, newbies alike, all sorts of different things in here. You do get a $50 discount off of a future crypto mindset course for every month that you do renew. And you do get access to the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Sol on the daily, weekly, and monthly charts for the CC Algo buy sell signals. If you're in here, and we do flash webinars, we do unrecorded AMAs, we do all sorts of stuff in here that gives you guys a lot of value. We have a newsletter on top of that comes out every single Monday with Too Long Didn't Read Tear Sheet on what's happening on fundamentals, technicals, and on-chain data. That also comes out on a audio basis. So if you are driving to work on a Monday or Tuesday and you don't have time to read that information, you can listen to it. And then when you get home, you can check out the information on the charts and stuff by looking at it. So, tons of value here in the Citadel. And it's a great place that if our YouTube channel gets deleted, then it's a great place for you to still get the information. All the sauce is still given in the Crypto Mindset course for Q2, the current one, and the Citadel. So definitely jump in and what do you call it? We'll have a good time together. But yeah.
Get in there, you guys. Boom, 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 man. We will be back here on Sunday for Moon Gang at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will be on my channel, and it's going to be an interesting show, man.
We ain't leaving.
We ain't leaving, man. The rugging.
Not rugged.
Not rugged. And yeah, we'll give you guys updates on what we're doing with Charlie's channel, and we'll,
we'll work it out over time here. But yeah, ultimately, if you are in the Citadel or in previous crypto mindset courses, watch for pinned messages going into Monday, because on Tuesday I'll be streaming from Rumble.
Boom. So with that, thank you so much for joining us, you guys, and we'll catch you again on Sunday. Peace.